Hey everybody, welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast, the only live streaming face-to-face arts and entertainment podcast covering northeastern Pennsylvania, offering a true alternative voice in local media. We're coming to you from the NEPA Scene studio underneath Center City Print in downtown Scranton. I'm Rich Howells, the founder and editor of NEPA Scene. Robin is behind the scenes in the producer's chair tonight, filling in. Thank you so much, Robin. And tonight we're here with two Luzerne County rock and country musicians, singer-songwriter Kyle Demko and guitarist-violinist Micah James. They're going to be performing at Sununis's Bar and Grill as part of the annual downtown Wilkes-Barre Holiday Pub Crawl on Saturday, December 6th with Frank Marzinkowski, Luke Stone, and Jerry Mahalik. So we're going to be talking about how they started playing together, the history and memories behind this event that benefits Valley Santa by collecting donations and Christmas gifts for local families in need at Sununis's, The Downpour, Franklin's, Vesuvio's, and Heat. Being a working musician, playing bars and restaurants weekly, learning to play everything from country to traditional Irish folk music, the perspectives of an NEPA native versus growing up in Maryland, seeing the other side of the business as a bartender and selling instruments at Music Go Round in Wilkes-Barre, much, much more. We've got plenty to talk about. Please join our conversation with your questions and comments down below. We'll get to those later on in the show. So anything you want to ask these guys, anything that you want to add to our conversation tonight, we're going to be talking about the scene in a lot of different ways from a lot of different perspectives. So we always appreciate yours. It's much more fun when you guys participate. So make sure that you get into there. Before we dive in, I just want to thank our sponsor, Center City Print, who provides us with this great studio space. Use promo code NEPA Scene in person and online at centercityprint.com for 10% off. Center City Print can bring your ideas to life in 3 locations: Scranton, Kingston, and Hazleton. These one-stop shops are locally owned and operated, offering high-quality printed products, copy and custom print services, and design solutions to help you, your small business, your nonprofit, your band, your photography, your art project, or any venture thrive. Visit them now at centercityprint.com and use promo code NEPA Scene online or in person for 10% off. All right, guys, so let's start I'm going to start by letting you introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up? I'm Demko. I'm from Mountaintop, and I am a musician in the area. I play country and rock music. I do a bunch of cover stuff, but if anyone has ever followed me, I had a band called Always Undecided for years. Do a lot of original stuff. Recently kind of reshaped and rebranded, and now just going as the artist Demko, whether it's me solo or with a band. And we're just trucking along right now, so that's me.
My name is Micah James. Some of you might know me as Micah Mulhern, but I go by Micah James is my stage name because it's a little easier to pronounce, rolls off the tongue. I'm a violinist and a guitar player. I've been in a few different bands. You might know me from the band Room 206. I started that with my friends in high school. I was still in that band, and then recently reached out into doing some other things. I play with my boy Kyle here, Jeremy Scouten, my good friend, and Marcus Welliver, my other good friend. I play the fiddle, doing a lot of country music and some guitar stuff here and there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to lately.
So let's go back to the beginning. What made you first pick up as an instrument? Did it start at a young age for you?
So yeah, I started playing the violin when I was 5 years old. Actually, it's a funny story. My mom used to make me watch, well, she didn't make me, but I used to watch Fred Rogers a lot as a kid. And actually the cello player, Yo-Yo Ma, if you're familiar, was on there a couple times. And I was like, even though he was a cellist, for some reason I got the idea, I wanted to play the violin. And I begged my mom, and then I said to her, I was like, well, if you won't give me violin lessons or get me a violin teacher, I'm just gonna find Yo-Yo Ma and make him teach me. So, which in my 5-year-old mind that made a lot of sense. So then she was like, all right, fine. So this is when I lived down in Maryland. I started taking lessons. So I'm a classically trained violinist. I started with like a very strict sort of classical teaching, and to be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy it. I had a teacher from Indonesia. His name was Bagus Wiswakarma. I'm sure he's still around. Really cool guy, really eccentric, very interesting guy. Studied in Germany and played all over the world. So I started taking lessons with him, and he taught me pretty much all the way until I moved away. So it was an interesting progression. I didn't really enjoy it because it was very strict. You know, classical music is a little bit snobbish and just sort of very, very stiff, and I didn't like that. And then so later, once I got to like middle school, I picked up the guitar, and I really fell in love with that. I kind of took a break from the violin. I played the guitar for 10 years now. I picked up when I was 12. I'm about to be 21, so 9 years. I love music, and you know, it's really been a positive thing in my life. So.
Yep, that's great. I'm glad you did too. For me, I was like 15 when I started playing guitar. I got heavily influenced by a lot of the pop punk and metalcore stuff that was coming out at the time, like 2005, 6. And I stuck with it. I recently started playing a lot of like the cover stuff. We always kind of did it, but it was always a focus to be the full band thing. But like in the last few years, focused more on the cover game. I've been playing a lot with Riley Loftus. She's one of my favorite people to play shows with. She's excellent. If anyone's ever heard of her, you know what I'm talking about. I've been playing with Micah, and like, you know, if anyone has seen me before, I'm usually playing with someone that I'm friends with, whether it's Marcus, Mike Elward, Frank Marsikowski. But yeah, I've been playing for a long time, and just started taking it like pretty serious in the last few years. Before COVID, we dove in pretty hard. And now that I'm back in the area, because I moved away for a little bit, you know, the last few years I've been just trucking along, trying to get my name back out there. And I'm just excited to get the full band thing pieced together. I think that's always been the goal. But yeah, we're just focused on whatever's next on the calendar right now. So we're working on some stuff, and that's why I think that's why we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Valley Santa benefit that comes up. What happens every year in the beginning of December. There's a couple different events that go on through the organization. I've been lucky enough to team up with Joe Rodano for that. Originally, we were kind of running a benefit with Toys for Tots, and we kind of crossed paths with Joe and the whole crew, the Valley Santa crew, and we just thought it would be way more fun to work together. So us as the musicians that have been doing it for years teamed up with Valley Santa, and we have a cool show that we put on for the pub crawl that goes around Wilkes-Barre, raising money for local families and stuff. So yeah, that's why we're here to talk about. So we got a cool little thing coming up this Friday, November 21st at 7:00. The doors open at 5. I was supposed to have a big show this week, me and the full band. I was going to be lucky enough to play with some of the guys from the Wells River Band, Marcus Wilver and Mike Elwards, with crew that they had there. It was going to be them and Micah. So that fell through. So instead of moping around, what we're going to do is we're going to do a nice little toy drive to kick off the Valley Santa events that go on in December. So if you're around, okay, November 21st, this Friday, 7:00. The doors open at 5. We're going to have QR codes hanging up everywhere. If you could bring an unwrapped toy to donate, that would be great. We would appreciate it so much. Come over and check it out. We're going to only play for an hour. We're going to play a bunch of our original stuff. And I think that's fun because I've been writing a lot, and I'm really excited to get some of the original stuff out for everybody. It's always been the goal. Play a couple covers, but we're just going to do a nice short and sweet set. Come out, donate a little time, donate a little money to the cause. That's what we do it for. I say this all the time, but with great power comes great responsibility with the music stuff. You know, if you can do it, do something. If you can do something to help, do it. That's it.
I've never heard that. That's a great catchphrase.
Well,
you should really copyright that.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone knows that I say that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they know you specifically for saying that.
There was this one guy that I heard say it one time. I forget who it was. No, but all seriously, like all seriousness, us as musicians, like, you know, we a lot of us play benefits and stuff, and we love to donate time to the right thing, and this is the right thing. We've been doing it for the last few years. It's nice. Love the cause, and it's just a good thing for some of us as even the musicians to come together on that night and get to hang out. Anytime we get to do that is great because we're all busy playing our own shows. So it's one of those nights where I'm lucky that a couple of the core group of guys that do it, guys and girls that do it every year, are willing to come together that night and work together. So,
absolutely. Well, we're gonna get back to all that too. Yeah. You had mentioned some of your earlier influences there. Who are some of those influences, and have they changed over time? Because obviously, there's all the stuff we listen to when we're, teenagers and angsty teenagers. Sometimes we grow out of that and find other stuff, or sometimes we just stick with that. So who are some of the people you influenced your music early on, and maybe have your taste changed at all since then?
You want to go?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I got to start with the violin when I was a child. So obviously, I talked about Yo-Yo Ma a little bit. Yo-Yo Ma, Itzhak Perlman, Joshua Bell, kind of all these classical musicians. It may or may not ring a bell to some people out there. There's a guy named David Garrett who is pretty cool. Does a lot of like contemporary rock music. Who's a composer more than just a violinist, and he kind of takes these pop songs or rock songs and transposes them onto the violin. And he's actually on tour right now. I wanted to go see him in New York, but I couldn't go, unfortunately. But he's really amazing. So my parents took me to see him when I was 5 or 6 years old, and that absolutely blew my mind. And I loved watching him as a kid, and I still enjoy his music. So with the violin thing, that's kind of where that came from. And then with the guitar, like when I was in middle school, I had a friend who loved to listen to like AC/DC and like Metallica and stuff. So I was listening to all that, and I was like, "This is pretty cool. I should pick up the guitar." So I kind of started around with that stuff. Like I love James Hetfield, Angus Young, and then as I progressed, I started getting more into the bluesy stuff. So like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, Buddy Guy. Gary Moore, like those kinds of blues musicians. I love that kind of stuff. Stevie Ray Vaughan's my favorite, though.
For me, when I was first learning how to play music, a lot of the rock, the popular rock bands really did something for me. Like, excuse me, the Breaking Benjamin, obviously they were local, so it was easy to root for them. 3 Days Grace, Seether, Evanescence, all that stuff. You could hear a lot of that in some of my, you could hear the influence in a lot of my original stuff, especially when I write metaphoric and that abstract lyric style. It comes out sounding like some of that early 2000s rock music. But I loved the pop punk and the metalcore. It altered my brain chemistry. Right now, I find myself following some people that I find easy to root for. As I got older, I'm not as I obviously love certain bands for their sound and the music, but there's lately I feel like I'm trying to emerge as an artist versus just someone that does the cover stuff. And I just find myself rooting for people like Hardy. I don't listen to all of his music. I don't know all of his songs from front to back, but I just think him as an individual, it's really cool because he kind of broke the seal, and he plays this he's known to be a country artist who has these huge hits that he wrote for Morgan Wallen and Blake Shelton and other huge artists, but he's his own thing too, and he's a total badass because his concerts are rock concerts, and he's in certain songs with bands and stuff. He did a song last year or a year, maybe 2 years ago with Caleb from Beartooth. And it's just a metalcore song, and it's Hardy, and he's got a country voice. So people like him, I obviously love Post Malone now. He's seems so easy to root for. And he kind of jumped and did the multiple style thing, which is kind of something that I kind of did with playing country. Everyone knows I feel like anyone that's ever seen me knows I play a lot of country music. It's not my main jam. It's not I don't listen to country music all that much. I love it, but I'm more of a metal guy and a rock guy. I'm definitely into a lot of the new pop punk and the metalcore stuff that's coming out now. I love Bill Murray so much. I love Spirit Box, Holding Absence.
Spirit Box I enjoy a lot.
Yeah. Dude, they're
really good stuff.
I keep watching the same 2 live concerts of like Bill Murray in Atlanta and Spirit Box at like this huge festival from like last year. I just keep playing them on my TV like when I'm doing stuff
Every
around the
time
house.
I come over, they're on.
Dude, it's like it's so good. Like they're both so good. But yeah, I just find myself like paying attention to people's stories. Spirit Box has a super interesting story because they came from Vancouver Island, and like the chances that they took and excuse me, the risks is like incredible to listen to what they said. So me getting into my like early 30s is like me like kind of focusing on like, well, what did they do? Like, I don't think I want to be doing this for like, you know, too long where I'm like doing my original stuff. It's because I never really got off the ground. So I feel like I'm starting fresh. Like if I was doing this for a few years, I wouldn't have that feeling, but I need to either do or die now. Because I could play covers for years, and I love doing it. I love playing at the bars and doing the acoustic cover stuff. I love that. It's so fun. The focus is definitely like heavy on like getting the band off the ground. But it is nice being able to do both. I feel very incredibly lucky to be able to do that and like share it with people like Micah, Riley, Marcus, all those guys. So, but yeah, the influences though. I love Hardy right now. He's really doing it for me. The guy's just he kind of broke the rules a little bit. So, you know.
Well, you guys both play a in the what I would say call the bar restaurant sort of scene. Mostly in Luzerne County area. What you said you really enjoy, but what is that like day to day? Because obviously anything that you put that much time and effort into, it's work. So is it is it a job where maybe some days you feel great about it, other days it's like, oh, maybe this is a slug, or one thing I've noticed from those types of gigs, because when I go out, I like to, have live music. I'm specifically going to go somewhere that has that. Other people, they might go and they're like, oh, that's in the background, and they just don't pay attention to it at all. And I feel like the artist is sitting there like really giving, they're all over there, and they're like 10 feet away just not paying attention at all. And like that could be frustrating too. So like, what's your perspective on doing that? Do you enjoy it? Do you have those kind of moments of kind of like, hey, over here, that sort of thing?
I haven't gotten like bitter or anything yet about any of it. Like I like it, and I also bartend, so like I know how hard it is to work and make a similar amount of money, and the hours it takes that you put in. So it is nice, and again, I do feel fortunate, like being able to make money doing this. Sometimes it feels like work, and honestly, sure, a lot of time it feels like work, but work doesn't have to be bad. But it is work. Like, it's definitely work. The years put into it add up, and we're out here like grinding. And when we're playing like 12, 9 to 12 shows in a month, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but like it definitely is a lot on just you're singing a lot of the like. You could change up your set list and stuff, sure. But, like, there's a lot of stuff you just play. I think a lot of us feel comfortable. There's certain songs that we probably, all of us collectively as, like, the acoustic performing musicians, like, there's a lot of songs that we're going to play them in the night because they just hit. But, like, you're singing that sometimes, like, 3 times a week, and it sounds like we've been singing a lot of these songs for years.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a grind.
Yeah, I mean that's funny. Like, I mean, we all like learn more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, sure. Sometimes it feels like work, but I still love it. I just have that itch to not be playing guitar and have the mic in my hand with like a band behind me. But no, I don't feel any like weird way about it yet or anything like that. I still enjoy it. I think that I still feel like lucky because of like the grind that we like put into it. Like when we first met, and like me and Anthony were doing the acoustic stuff, it was such a grind, and it was such like there were days where he'd come over and we'd sit for like, and honestly, listen, anyone that's paying attention and listening that like maybe is like first starting playing music, Like, you just have to just do it. You just have to sometimes suck it up and go play for, like, not a lot of money. And I mean, I'm not telling you to go and, like, not get paid for things. But, like, you got to love it. And you got to want to do it. You have to. Like, or it's not going to work. You have to. So there were, like, a lot of things where we, like, did for free or very cheap. And, like, now I'm fortunate that people are reaching out. And the grind is a different grind now. The grind is like a follow through and execute now versus like, all right, how do we do this and how do we build like up like a brand and like a product or whatever. Which I feel like I tried to do for like the last 10 years. So it's like paying off. It's totally paying off. And I feel like I'm probably a little different than a lot of the musicians. There's so many people around here that are so good. You obviously know. We all know. There's so many people that are so good and deserve a lot. I just still feel lucky. That's where I'm at still. And I feel like I'm getting better. You know, I think it's not for nothing. But yeah, I'm just happy. I'm literally happy with it. If I could do it 3 or 4 nights a week, I would. You know, but I have another job, and that's part of like the bartending, splitting your time and stuff, making sure things work with schedules. But I do love it still, like a lot.
It's definitely for me, like, you know, I started doing this in high school, so I never really had to have like a conventional job. I think I worked at Dunkin' Donuts for like 3 weeks and I quit because I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So I feel lucky too. I agree with Kyle. It's like, it's nice to be able to do something that you love and that, you know, you're good at and make money for it and get recognized for it. And it's nice too, like as a college student, now I'm a little bit older, you know, I'll be turning 21 soon. It kind of is, you know, opens up a lot of doors for you. People love it. And what people don't see though is like, you know, I've been doing this playing music since I was 5 years old. So it's like, you know, thousands of dollars worth of instruments and gear invested over the years and, you know, paying teachers and like hours and hours of practicing. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, you know, it's not like just a hobby. Like there are plenty of people like, you know, you go to the guitar store, you pick it up and, you know, you do it for fun and, you know, that's all fine, well and good. But, you know, when you do it to like this level as a, you know, professional, it's not always easy. And, you know, it's not cheap to have good equipment. It's not cheap to invest in a good teacher or, you know, having, you know, have to really like, I'll tell you, like when I was in high school, I used to go to the music store all the time after high school or after I get out of school cause I had nothing else to do. And I would go like, I would bug Kyle and be like, yo dude, can we play? And I don't even remember this.
Just be like sitting there shredding for like an hour and a half.
I probably drove him nuts. Like I would like test out all the different guitars and stuff. And, you know,
Is that how you guys first met?
Yeah. And, so I would bug him, and then, you know, eventually got around to doing something. So it's definitely a hustle. But like you said, you got to enjoy it you can't. But the thing is, you can't do it for just the money either. It's not really like it's not like you show up and clock in and then go home.
That's not what it's definitely not what it's about.
It's,
you know,
I view it as an art, not necessarily. I think this is where I start to have a problem because I view it as an art. And art as a form of expression. I don't really view it as entertainment, even though, like, when you break it down, we are entertainers. So sometimes that creates a little bit of conflict with me because, you know, sometimes I get aggravated when people are throwing out song requests or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, play Freebird. And I'm like, come on, like, but you know, I agree with Kyle though. Like, it is really truly a blessing to be able to do what I love and what I'm have a natural gifted talent to do. So
yeah,
it's pretty exciting, but it is work. And you know, like there are some nights where I'll come home and like a show will end at 1, but I won't go to bed till 3 because, you know, I have to take all my stuff in and I have to, like, you know, my head will be pounding because it's so loud, and then you got to calm down.
Yeah,
from that.
It is like further. It's more than just the 3 hours. They're
it's
driving there. So,
right.
Yeah, we're there early. Go home after. Sometimes it's
yeah. You get stuck there bullshitting with people, which is not a bad thing, but it's like before you know it, an hour goes by and you're done playing, and you meet a lot of cool people doing that. And but it's, you know, it's not just I think a lot of people miss the concept that it's just like, oh, like I'm just gonna go whip out my guitar for 3 hours and chill, and it's like that's not really what it's about.
Right.
When I met him, I thought there was such a unique dynamic of the fact that he played guitar and fiddle too, because like he's talented at both of them. And like the band for me that I'm like looking to build, there's a place for a guitar player that plays like him. So I was like, like why don't you give me some time and let's try to build something here. And I like before we left even, I was like, I said to him, I was like, I'll definitely help you find other people to play with too, like whether or not, because I play with Riley a lot. So, but I mean, luckily he's been playing with like Marcus and stuff too. He has Jeremy Scouten that he plays with, and like we're pretty busy, and it's great because I talk to people that are a million times better than me that, maybe don't have the opportunity to play as much. So again, just want to reiterate, like I definitely feel super fortunate that like we get to do this. It's so much fun. We love it. That's what I mean. We love it.
How is your playing together developed? How is that?
We're building chemistry. We're putting time in too.
We haven't been doing it that long. A couple months.
Yeah, and it's like we're splitting time with like when you like learn covers, it's like I could send them home with a song, then to like be like writing and like getting the feel of like playing original stuff together. Like I'm teaching him some of the stuff I have written, and he's been showing me some of his riffs too. But like definitely building chemistry. It's cool. Yeah. And you each show gets a little bit better. We tighten something up. Maybe he does something where I hear it, or whatever the case is. But it's like, keep that. Like we're gonna make sure you do that. Like from now on with that part. Like that sounded cool. Like each show just gets better. That's how that worked with Riley and I too. When her and I started playing together like a year ago. I feel like her and we have such a tight set. She's so easy to play with. Because she's just such a good singer. It's insane. She could sing anything. That's fun too. It's just fun. It's literally just so much fun. I love playing with someone else too. Solo's fine. I got that loop pedal now.
Yeah.
That I mess around with. But like, playing with like a duo partner is just so much better.
It's definitely interesting for me. Like I don't really like rehearse or practice anything. There's only a few songs that I try and play note for note because some of them you just have to play because people know them and they want to hear that specific thing. But
Feathered Indians.
Yeah, like that one, people are always like, every time like he plays the riff and then they're like, people are like, no, like if they're drunk, they're like, no way, you're gonna play that, oh my god, and they
he does,
freak
he
out.
Plays the one riff to,
everybody's like,
there's like a Tyler Childers song that he plays it like so nice and everyone loses it.
They love it
because it's like it's such a key part of the song. And it's like a song that like most of us acoustic guys do.
Yeah.
And like the add in the violin, everyone's just like,
it is cool. But I just make shit up as I go along. I don't really my improvisation skills have gotten better and like I have to know what I'm doing, musically. But that's like where a lot of that inspiration from like the blues guys comes in, because I kind of take that and then I apply that to the violin a little bit. So I kind of just have this sort of make it up as I go along. I never play anything the same way twice.
I'm driving home with Marcus the one night from a show, and like Marcus, we had just played with him. I played with him I think Thursday, and then I think Marcus played with him Friday, and then it was Saturday that Marcus and I played that afternoon. And we're driving home, and he's like, "You think Marcus got better just overnight?" He's like, "Because he sounded really good last night." And I was like, "Yeah." He sounded real good on Thursday, too. And I go, and last week, though, it was just like the week previously, Micah and I were like leaving a gig, and he was like, I know you kind of know this stuff. So like the guitar has like frets, and it changes the key when you slap a capo on the fretboard of the guitar. So you can change the key. And when you put it on, what was it, 1 and 3?
1 and 4.
1 and 4. If you played anything on 1 and 4, it threw them way off.
It's just a hard
because the violin. Well, the violin doesn't have frets.
Yeah.
So it's harder for him to just translate
sharp
the
minor keys, whatever. I don't know.
We're like driving home though. Mike is like, he's like, this is ridiculous that I can't do that. He's like, I'm going to talk to my violin teacher. And like the following week, me and Marcus were both like, was he better? It's like, yeah. We had a lesson. It was just so funny. So the sets are getting better. Like he's already piling on, adding to playing, and me just from working at the music store is like crazy because it added a bunch of knowledge into the cranium.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So, you've been at musical around for how long?
Almost like 3 years now.
Yeah, so I'd
Almost.
imagine you also kind of pick stuff up from learning about the instruments because you guys are buying and selling them.
Yeah, and it is cool. I mean, I'm learning a lot about the equipment, but I'm like learning about the tech itself. Like, I mean, I didn't know. Honestly, when I started working there, I couldn't really tell you the difference between like a humbucker and a single coil pickup on an electric guitar. For anyone that doesn't know, it's like the little things that are under the strings where you're strumming. It's kind of the little microphones-ish that picks up the sound for the electric guitar.
Magnets.
Yeah.
Like they say in Breaking Bad. Is that magnets, bitch?
But yeah, I didn't know the difference between any of that. So like, I mean, I've gotten a huge amount of lessons and knowledge from working there. It's made a huge impact on like what I do. Even running, just learning little things like when you have to add or take away highs, mids, or lows on a board. I mean, I can't explain it to somebody. You just can't explain it to someone. You have to play with it enough. And now I'm constantly around the equipment. I'm constantly playing guitar throughout the day, for whatever reason, doing things with people's stuff, people's guitars. And it's just really like help me nosedive further into like what I'm working on over here, just further in the plot. I love working there because I've learned a lot, and it's like you just have to act like a sponge and just be a little coachable. Don't act like a know-it-all, which bites you in the butt a little because there's sometimes I think I know more than some people, and they try to tell me stuff, and I go, I can't tell if I'm being nice or if you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you sound so confident. I don't think you have any idea what you're talking about. You just gotta, even in the beginning, I was working with like Dustin Douglas. I mean, just being around him, like you got like a little, just take in anything, watching him play and take it in and apply it. And, you're going to literally just automatically get better. You're just around good people. Teddy Young, Anthony Picataggio works there. Guy knows what he's doing. It's cool to be around him for 16 hours a week because he's right there and he knows a lot. So it's just good. I felt like it was me sort of putting myself into like a position to learn about the stuff in general.
There's a whole science that goes into instruments. It could just be another. You could sit and learn. Just about
you know a lot, and you're young. Like know an awful lot for someone.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about a lot of tech. Where you're an amp guy now.
Yeah, my tastes are kind of old school. I'm kind of a tone snob. I only like tube amps. I don't like
for anyone that doesn't know, I'm cool with like a Boss Katana, and he's like,
no, I gotta have a Fender tube amp, and
What do you have, a deluxe or a twin?
I have a Pro Reverb, which is like a deluxe reverb. It's like in between a deluxe and a twin. It's 35 watts, I'm pretty sure, but we don't have to get into all that. But it's like a whole other science.
Yes,
it's like
tell them.
People don't see like all the research that goes into like, okay, I tried this distortion pedal and I don't like this one's not as clear as this one, and like, you try them, or like, these pickups are too much of a high output.
What you did separates a good player from a casual player, like, because you were in a lot and you were like, well, okay, and then you'd show up with some of your gear.
Yeah.
You'd bring your guitar in, and it was like, it was like, well, this kid's in here like 3 times a week. It's like, well, he's literally shopping. It's like, you got, and that separates like a real player who's like really looking for something versus like a casual player. Like I'm a casual like electric player.
The toughest part is like you have what you want to hear in your head, and then you want to get that in reality, and that's very hard because you can't just like put it into words. Like there's no adjective to describe like what tone you want, but you can always, at least I could always hear in my head what I wanted to hear, and then it's getting that through my fingers to the instrument to a speaker.
Yeah.
So you play with Kyle, of course, Marcus Wellriver, and Jeremy Scouten.
Yep.
Anybody else?
It was my band Room 206. That was my original band from high school. That gig is tough because I'm the only one who didn't go away to a school far away. So I go to Misericordia University, but all my other friends from the band go to Syracuse, Penn State, Pitt. So they're not around for 9 months of the year, but in the summertime we have a bunch of shows. This summer was really good. I think we played like 16 shows together or something like that. It was a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And we have a few coming up over Thanksgiving break and Christmas break. Actually, this Saturday. Yes, this Saturday, Chaco's Bowling Alley, 8:30. We'll be there. That's a fun place because there's a stage, the lighting's good, you have a bar. That's a really fun place. So we try to do what we can with that. That's something that, those guys will always be, my friends, and we'll always, I'm sure when we're old and we'll probably be like one of those bands where it's like, oh, here's these old guys again. They play the same shit over and over. That's probably gonna be us. But that'll always be something I'll do, and then wherever these other things take me is where they'll take me.
So do you enjoy kind of adapting to each player? Because I'd imagine it's different for to play with each one and kind of try to match their style, especially if you're playing the fiddle.
It is different. The fiddle is weird because it's obviously we're playing country music, so that's kind of easy to get away with, I don't want to say faking it, but you just again making shit up.
A little improv.
It's all.
You have a few different projects. You play the electric in the band.
Yeah.
You only play the fiddle with Marcus.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with Jeremy, but I have you on guitar a lot.
Jeremy, we kind of do the same acoustic thing. Yeah. I'll play. Usually, I'll play, he'll sing, and then I'll give him my guitar, and he'll play and sing, and then I'll get the fiddle out. So, we just kind of make it work.
You kind of go half and half when we play.
Yeah, about half and half. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Well, you also play in a traditional Irish folk band,
yes,
the Blarney Boys.
Yes, yeah.
How did that come about?
So that I got into through my violin teacher Brendan. Shout out Brendan, he's one of my favorite people. He asked me to do that, and we don't do much. That's maybe we'll play 2-3 times a year. They do a show at all around St. Patrick's Day. So that one, actually, you would think, I would play the fiddle in that, but I actually mostly play guitar because they were looking for a guitar player. So that's something that's real fun. I'm Irish, well, mostly Irish. I'm Irish, Italian, Welsh, English, whatever. I'm a mutt, but I am very proud of my Irish heritage. I look Irish, so I go with the Irish thing. So that I just kind of sit there and and strum some chords of these silly Irish songs. That's a good time. But you kind of just do that around the St. Patrick's Day. So I'll bust the fiddle out for that too. But I let my teacher handle most of that. It's fun though.
I love the St. Patty's Day show. Side note.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
that whole couple weekends is fun.
It is.
Pittston, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. There's a lot of opportunity for money if you're someone doing what I do, playing guitar and bartending.
I feel like it's really crazy too.
It's not for the weak.
People.
It's not for the weak.
Yeah, everybody's had a little.
If you're
too
playing
much.
a show, you're usually lugging stuff somewhere weird, and if you're bartending, you're dealing with something weird. It's one or the other.
My one St. Patrick's Day story when it comes to the parade is I'm not a guy who likes to hang around with a lot of drunk people. If I kind of see that, I'm just I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm just not interested in that whole thing. Didn't go to parties when I was in high school or anything like that. I wasn't a guy who's let's do keg stands and all that kind of shit. Just not my thing. Obviously. I had always kind of dismissed the parade as that's for them, it's not for me, whatever, that sort of thing.
Amateur hour.
I just don't want to, do any of that stuff. And the one year I was at the time I was a newspaper reporter, and I was well, let me just go and kind of take in everything, maybe take a few pictures, that sort of thing, just kind of observe the whole thing, right? So I parked right outside of downtown, a couple blocks away, so I'd be away from all of the, people who probably should not be driving and getting in their cars and whatever, and, walked over. And so I walk a couple blocks, and I get to just about the area where everything is beginning. All of the people are out in the streets and spilling out from one pub to another and that sort of thing. And literally, the first person that I interact with. Now I look up and I'm like, I'm just going to take a picture. There was some interesting art on the side of this building.
About to tell us something bad.
There's interesting art on the side of this building. And so I was just like, oh, I'm just going to take a picture of that quick, right? And this guy walks over and he goes, the fuck are you taking a picture for? Like, he was so angry that this camera was... I said, it's not you.
It's not funny that it was you. It's just funny.
It's not you. I'm just taking a picture over it. Well, what the fuck are you doing here? What is this all about? Blah, blah, blah. And he starts going off on, like yelling at me, wanting to start a fight. And then his girlfriend stumbles over herself, but she's still in her right mind going, I am so sorry about him. Please just, and she's kind of pulling him away as this guy is about to just fight me. And I'm like, okay, this is over. I literally turned around and went back home. I was like, that is parade day for me.
Never mind.
That is how I will always picture parade day.
Yeah.
When I was at the Weekender for a couple of years, we were kind of forced to go to parade day because we had all these sponsors and advertisers involved and stuff like that. So I would show up and drink my obligatory one beer and be like, okay, yep, we're out of here. But otherwise, that is my impression and interaction with parade day. So I just kind of stay away from it.
Sounds terrible.
So I genuinely respect the bartenders, the musicians, and everybody who have to deal with that.
Yeah, the drunk people, when you're a musician, if you don't have like a designated area, it is a little tricky.
Yeah.
Because people are a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to act
Luckily,
all the
I
time.
haven't yet encountered anybody too obnoxious.
That's good.
I've had pretty good luck so far. I think actually I'll tell a good story.
Yeah.
The first time we played down at Beer Boys, there was this kid from West Virginia, and he was hammered, but he was so nice. He comes up, he's like, man, I'm down from West Virginia. He's like, down there, we love that fiddle, man. That's so cool. I was like, that made my whole night. I was like, I think he was probably traveling for work or something. But, like good old country boy, I was like, that's cool.
Nice. Well, as a bartender, too, that you kind of see both ends of the business as well, because I think a lot of musicians they come in, trying to or being hired by bars, restaurants, things like that, and that sort of thing. And they're only kind of seeing their end of things and their interaction of things. And the business people who are hiring the musicians, whatever, they're seeing it from a different perspective. Sometimes it's not always the same perspective. They're not always on the same page there. So is that kind of giving you any insight as to like, oh, that's how this works? Or when I was just getting hired as a musician, I didn't know that there was this whole other side of things and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think I see it from so many different angles on purpose. Like I play music. I've been bartending for a while. I work at the store, but then I also sometimes get myself in the middle of some of this stuff and run events. So I see what it's like to promote something. I see that side, and that's not for the weak either.
Right.
A lot of people don't like promoters because there's not a ton of money in it for a promoter. And I see the effort that goes into that to not get a huge reward. It just has to be something that you want to do. I mean, if you're going to run an event, but I see it from that person's view. And then I also have booked for places for years now where I book the music, and it's me when I'm calling my peers and I'm like, hey, do you want to play on this date? Blah, blah, blah. This is how much money it is. And sometimes I have back and forths with people where they're like, well, I normally get this much. And it's like, I know.
Yeah.
I know what we're all making.
Right.
But do you, maybe one of the, but also let's say Tomato Bar, for example, they have a budget and they spend this much on Wednesdays and this much on Saturday. And when I reach out to people, it's not in a mean way at all. But take it or don't, it's okay. There's a lot of people that we call that we have on rotation over there, and not in a, literally not in a jerk way at all.
No.
But I see both sides. I could see it now. So when I ask, if a place is asking me to play there, and they ask how much do you charge, and then we tell them, that's cool. But if a place says, hey, we have been doing music for 5 to 10 years or whatever it is, this is our budget, blah blah blah, And it is what it is. Like, then that's up to you as the musician to decide on whether you want to do that or not, if it doesn't match your normal charging. I mean, it is what it is. You know, but I see it from multiple angles. So I think that's helped in general with a lot of stuff. I could see perspectives. Helps me make things happen. You know, that's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, from my end, I definitely hear about it from both sides.
Sure.
So it's interesting to hear
Yeah.
some of the perspectives, and, you know, somebody tells their side of that story, and some people tell the other side of that story, and it's like, yeah, okay, I can see why there's maybe some confusion on both ends, or
Sure.
everybody's trying to make ends meet at this point. And, you know, I feel like too, we're in a tight spot economically right now. People kind of have less expendable income. I definitely see less people out at shows now these days.
I see
and things
it.
like that.
I see it whether it's the show or whether I'm working, for sure.
Yeah,
I can see it.
It's tough. It's tough. And, you know, the other aspect of it, and I don't want to say I got myself in trouble a little bit, but I definitely had a disagreement with a gentleman over this recently. A couple of weeks ago at the open mic, because I'm always trying, you know, it's very hard when you're doing a weekly event to not only promote that event week after week, but keep people hyped and interested and continuing to come out week after week and that sort of thing. And always trying to find new people too, because you can't rely on your regulars, so to speak, you know, because the regulars will change, you know, schedules change, lives change, you know, people move, they have kids, you know, there's different times a year they have more availability or less availability, that sort of thing. So you're always trying to bring people in. So it's a lot of work to get everybody to show up, especially on a weeknight, a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever, and put the time and effort in. And, you know, at the V Spot, you know, when we started there, you know, we've been there 8 years now, and I had to kind of, I mean, and I say but I really mean all of us, really had to work hard to win that crowd over and get it to the point where it was a good open mic spot. Because at first, I think people were genuinely curious and interested in it, but very quickly it became a lot of the regulars who were like, I'm just here to drink a beer. I don't care what's going on stage. So I'm just going to be obnoxious about this, and I'm going to yell, and I'm going to scream at people, and I'm going to, you know, every time somebody gets up there that has an act that I don't like, I think this is the Gong Show, and I'm going to start, you know, boo, get off the stage, that sort of stuff. And I had to really kind of train the audience to be like, that's not what we do here.
You did have to police it in the beginning.
Yeah. There was a little bit of that pushback for a little bit where, you know, and it didn't even a lot of times reflect on the talent of
The worst one
of
was the
artists.
comedians. That was what I was
Yeah, the
saying.
comedians, I think, have it the toughest. And they still have it the toughest because...
the TVs are on and stuff.
Right. Well, you're trying to talk, and everyone is talking in the room, so you're trying to get your jokes out to people, and the guy in the back is only catching a word or two. And some people are like, I think this is everything this guy is saying is hysterical. Another person is like, I am offended by everything that is coming out of that person's mouth. And now you got to figure out, how do I calm those people down, or how do I just get them to go, you know what? You weren't paying attention 5 minutes ago. Just go back to your beer, and once they're off stage, somebody else is going to come on. You're going to go, oh, this is great, and everything's fine again, you know? So there's a lot of those types of things going on. And so a couple of weeks ago, I had noticed the bar is starting to kind of clear out earlier and earlier now. Because I think people have less money to spend. People got to get up for work in the morning because now it's fall again. People have kids in school. They got to get up with the kids, the whole 9 yards. So, you know, things change. And sometimes we get a second wind where, 9:30, 10 o'clock, you know, some people clear out and then other people come in. Doesn't always work out that way, but you hope so. In this particular night, it was like we still have a decent list of people left, and there's maybe 10 people sitting at the bar total in the entire place, which is not a lot, right? Not including the performers. So they were just completely like, here's the next act. Dead fucking silence. No, not a clap, not a I'm going to look up from my phone, not anything. So I was like, I'm not trying to yell at you guys. I'm not trying to lecture you. But think about COVID and think about how that changed everything for everybody. And when we came back from COVID, people were dying for anything live. When we were doing live stream, we did some live streams during COVID that were safe. Everybody was social distance, the whole 9 yards. We never had more eyes on us than we did then because people were sitting at home.
I did the one like
exactly.
The week, like into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was we never had more eyes on us than then because people were just dying for some kind of entertainment. So when that started coming back, everybody was going crazy. And then I think, and not to be an old man yelling at cloud or anything like that, but your TikTok and whatever else, it's the algorithm hypnotizes you and it gets you to kind of think, well, all entertainment is here and I'm just going to keep staring at this. So people kind of do that when they're out too, and they're really missing out on like great stuff right here. It's like you're looking right now, scrolling on your phone for something interesting. Something interesting is literally happening 10 feet away from you right here that you can pay attention to. Or your other suggestion is there's 100 other watering holes in the area. And I'm not trying to lose the V-Spot business, but maybe don't come here on a Tuesday if this annoys you. Like go somewhere where there's not any of this.
Yeah.
And you could just sit there and scroll on your phone or whatever. But if you're here, we kind of want you to be a part of the show, right? And
we do.
There were a few people. Yeah. There were a few people who were like, "Yeah, okay, yeah," and they kind of look up or whatever. They kind of give all right, fine, I'll give you a golf clap, whatever. There was one fucking guy though. At the end of the night, I'm packing everything up, and I hear this guy from across the bar ranting about me and what I said, that I had specifically looked at him and targeted him. And I'm like, man, you're one of those people who thinks you're the main character of every story, don't you? So I went over to him and I was like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like I can hear what you're saying, and I'm like, so we had a conversation. We actually kind of figured it out. We both, because on social media it's like I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna murder you. In real life it's like, oh, you have a disagreement with me, and suddenly the temperature kind of comes down, unless they're crazy.
Yeah.
Unless they're absolutely crazy. They don't think that anyone's going to confront them about that kind of thing. So I'm like, well, let's have a talk about this. They said, well, look at it from my perspective of like, I'm trying to stick up for these artists and like say, look at the time and effort that they put into here. The amount, like you said, the time and effort in the just buying the equipment, understanding how to use it, the practice, all of that work to show up here just to play for you for a few minutes. And you can't even just look up for 2 seconds or just kind of give him a little bit of encouragement. And he's like, yeah, you're right. No, I see it from that. It's like, he's like, and I generally kind of do like this stuff. It's just, I'm kind of having a day and I just kind of just want to drink my beer and not really pay attention to anything. I'm like, well, you know what? You're right. I should be understanding of that too. Like, yeah, okay. Not everybody's here for that specifically, and yeah, not everybody's having the best day that they want to sit there and clap like monkeys and whatever else. So you gotta kind of see it from both ways. But I guess my point is that we have to talk to each other more, and we have to appreciate what we have right in front of us. And I think there's such a great music scene here. Obviously, we do all of this to help promote that scene. But there's just a lot of people who just day to day just do not appreciate it or will not look up from their phone for 2 minutes to see what's going on here.
There's so much of it.
Yeah, there's too much, really.
One of the toughest things about being in the band is it's so loud. Like you go to set up at a restaurant or a bar and you have a full band with a drum set and 2 guitars and a bass, like that shit is cranking. Like, not everybody wants to. I mean, there's a couple times I've been places and like people will walk in, they'll look at us and they'll just turn right back around because they're like, I don't want to hear any of this at all. It's like it's loud as hell. And then 90% of the people are drinking and dancing and having a great time. And then another tough thing that I've run into, like I'm only 20, so like a lot of kids my age don't listen to rock. Like most I'd say listen to country, which is cool because when I play with Kyle or I play with Jeremy or Marcus, like it's easier to get my friends to come out and hang out because they get it a little bit more. But like when you're like 18, 19, like you tell like another 19-year-old that you play guitar in a classic rock cover band, they look at you like Like, what the hell? Like, they've never seen it, but they don't. Nobody else really is doing it. I think there's maybe like you guys probably know Chase Huban. Like they're the only other kids that are young that do this around here, to my knowledge. I'm sure they're out there, but like
sure
that are like doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen others here and there that are good as well. I don't want to leave anybody out, but you know, my point is like it's tough because you know when you're 17, 18, 19, you can't go to a bar really, and then you know you go to a dinner crowd, and it's tough because then you know who wants to go spend $40 on dinner when you're that age? Like so I've run into that problem a lot too, with it. Just there's a little bit of a disconnect, or like even you know when I was working, like I used to work at a car lot. Shout out my friend Terrell, I think he's watching, but like I'd have to like rush and you know get out of there and then rush over, and like you know sometimes you know the management didn't really understand like you know I have to go do this, and they'd kind of be like you know whatever. So likewise, like you know a lot of people don't understand. It's like you know I worked all day and then I immediately have to do this, and then like that's like a 15-hour day.
Yeah.
And it's just you know people don't really see like what goes on.
For sure.
I think getting a little sidetracked here, but
even the venues themselves aren't always built for sound. So like you said too, like you're a big loud band and you come in and nothing's insulated, or you have these high ceilings where things are bouncing out of there, and it's like it you know sounds great when you're you know practicing or whatever, but you bring it to this venue and the venue might not be prepared for that sort of thing, and they might be set up the best for that sort of thing too. You know, I've seen a lot of places where even a singer-songwriter is just stuck in a corner like this with no elbow room trying to make it work. And there's literally people dining like 2 feet away from them while they're trying to just eat their dinner, and this guy's like and it's like, guys, did you know, as the restaurant, did you guys think of this before you set this all up or booked anybody? Like
that goes
you gotta have a
that goes into what like, all of this, but like on a side note, sure, like knowing how to like set your stuff up right, because you set it up all different places. Sure. If you're in a big place, you have 2 speakers bumping out, but if you're in a smaller place, usually 1. I'll play in Benny Brewing, and it's pretty big. It's huge. The ceilings are tall, and I could get away with using 1 powered 15-inch speaker, and it sounds great. It's fine. Yeah. But like it is funny when you're in a little spot like that, because you have to run it right, because you also don't want it feeding back. Yeah. So you're bringing your speaker's way closer to you, right by your microphone, and like that knowledge is also interesting because you don't just go and plug your stuff into something and it works. So there's a lot more depth to that.
The best for is sure. When I don't know if you run into this, Kyle. Maybe not as much because it's just you or maybe one other person at a time. But the best is when you get the armchair sound guys, is what I call it. And you know you're up there doing your thing, and like you get it balanced and all that, and they come up to you and they're like, "Oh, his guitar is too loud. I can't hear him." Or like. They're from the back of the bar and they're like, the vocals have got to go up, or you know they're trying to give.
I love those guys.
The best is like, oh, I used to play in a band when I was your age, and they're telling her stories like, oh no, you got to do this, or you know this and that, and that's always funny. You're like in the middle of the song and they're like, you got to turn this up. I'm like, buddy, my hands are full. You know, like that's the best. Yeah, that's funny.
Yep. People always. A lot of people tell me how to run my events too all the time. I'm like, I've been doing it 11 years pretty successfully, but thank you. You know, like I'm always happy to take advice, and I'm always happy to take constructive criticism. I love saying more than happy about that. But
love saying stuff. You know how many times people have tried to give me a high five while I'm singing? What is that? Like I get it, but like what?
Let me stop my whole show.
It's so weird too. Like, so I've said this so many times, but like some of my friends will leave like mid-song, and I'm like, it's fine, you're leaving. Like, I'll meet up with you in an hour. Like, but like they leave mid-song, and then they're all like doing this thing, and I'm like, what, dude? Like it's so weird. It's so funny. PSA, dude, knock that off, all of it. You guys are goofy for that.
And and by the way, that also brings up the point that you also are bringing all that stuff in half the time. You know, like a lot of times they're not providing. A lot of the times these places
I love
don't
saying
provide.
to people, I'm going to get a guy for this one day. Well, it's my big one. Like if I'm setting up and I'm like doing what you just said, where there's like Slocum, that happens a lot over there because they have me in this one spot and there's such a busy bar.
Yeah.
And like they have like this one bigger table kind of by where we set up. And sometimes people are there, which they usually will move because I usually start like the tail end of like the dinner crowd. But that is a funny thing. And then I always have to break the ice and be like, my sound guy didn't come in tonight, or like whatever it is. Like, when I get big enough, I can pay somebody to do this.
What's the best is when you have to drag all your shit through a restaurant and everybody's looking at you with a giant ass speaker and a guitar, and they're like, you get some. Most of the time not, but sometimes you get some judgmental looks from some.
When you walk
parents.
through the crowd, dude, and it's really busy,
that
gets me hyped.
Yeah.
If I'm having a hard time getting through the crowd with my shit, I'm like, tonight's gonna be good.
that is the opposite side. At least
Yeah.
there's people there to hear you, but some people look at you like, what the hell are you doing here?
That's what happened last time we played at Slocum, dude. It was
Yeah.
like a nightmare getting through, and I was like, this is gonna be a blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite spots. I actually love Slocum.
So that brings up something I did want to ask about. What are some of your favorite places to play that really kind of give you that that crowd that you want, or that you would recommend to people to come out and see you guys and just music in general?
I like Slocum for like a bunch of reasons because it's literally right by me. I've worked for Partash for like a long time. He owns like Tomato Bar, like Slocum. Bruise Brothers and stuff, and they have live music at all three places. Super cool that they like involve everybody. But they like even with like parade day and stuff, like having a chance to play on days like that is cool. But I love Slocum because it's like in my backyard. I live in Kingston now, so it's like right there. I'm friends with everyone that works there. They're happy to have me. It's like one of those places now that like Britt booked me and she's like, when can I get you in for all 26? Like let's get you booked all through the year. And it feels so good that some of these places are like excited to have me because it was like I said before, it was like such a grind. But Slocum, I love playing there. I've been waiting to play at Tapped. I can't wait to play at Tapped. They just opened. Riley and I had a lot going on. Him and I have stuff going on. And they were like booked up. Our schedules didn't cross paths. But I'm going to be playing at Captain's through the year. I got in finally with them. They were same thing. I wasn't able to play there when they first opened up. So I got some dates for 26. The Grottos, the three guys play at those places. It's cool. But I mean, I'm excited to see where we end up landing once this full band thing happens. Because I mean, ideally we'll be playing at some bigger venues. We were supposed to play at the Ritz Friday. It fell through. Unfortunately, Bubba Sparks pulled out. Which I don't know if this is a segue or not to like what's going on with Friday, but I mean, yeah. So like, I mean, I would love to play at the Ritz. I was like really looking forward to it. I got guys, I got the coolest vest I was gonna wear. I'm so bummed out I didn't wear it. I know Robin's laughing, dude, because she saw it, and it's like a big.
If you guys could see this vest,
oh man,
I'm serious.
I was ready.
Where is your vest?
I don't want
anyone.
anyone.
A message asking where
you should have worn it.
No, I'm saving it for a big. I got it from. I've been shopping on Shein, dude. I've been a Shein monster. Dude, this jacket was $30, dude. You can't get crazy. Keep buying everything from there. No, but so yeah, that got canceled. But anytime you can get on a stage with lights, camera, action, you know what I mean? I would love to play at the Ritz eventually. I'd love to play at something there that's like fitting for our sound too, which I think the opportunity will show up. I don't know that Bubba Sparks was exactly the right fit for what we were doing, and like not in a bad way. It's just like it just wasn't going to totally match. But like if it happened, it would have been fun. I think eventually one of these days we're going to be able to line something real cool up. But like, I love playing at the V Spot too. When I think about places that like impacted like the music career that I've had going on the last 10 years, like V Spot's a huge one. Even though I don't play there anymore, King's Pizza and Mountaintop was like one of the places that gave us our first shot, and like let me like do a lot. We're playing with other musicians there. We had that Guitars on Deck, where like it was somebody random playing with me and Anthony every week. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone that's having me, thank you for having me. Side note, Appreciate you so much. We love playing. But yeah, the Ritz is something I'm eyeing up. I can't wait to do something there. I think it's going to be great.
I really like playing at Chaco's, honestly. Which might, it's nice.
It's got a stage, right?
Yeah, because there's a stage. Yeah. The best places, and there aren't a ton of places around here with a stage where you have room for 5 people.
Yes.
So that's nice. The lighting is good in there.
Yeah.
Which is that's
another
like
big thing.
I'm weird with that. I can't stand like LED or like the overhead lights. I drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So anytime, anywhere you've got like a nice warm lighting, that's a fun place to play because
anywhere you're on a stage, I think the stage is cool.
That is so fun. I liked playing at Beer Boys in Sununas because you get like there's more people there that are my age, which is not that there's anything wrong.
Especially our demographic. I think probably you and Jeremy too, but like the demographic we play for is that 20 to 40 age,
which is not that there's anything wrong with playing for the older people who are a dinner crowd, but that's just not as exciting as when there's like 20 drunk college kids that are like hyped that you're going to play Feathered Indians.
Yeah,
it's just not the same.
I agree with
Yeah.
The one time we were at Beer Boys and DJ Dito Frito was there. So I got on DJ Dito Frito. So that was cool.
Did you see his stuff? You know what he's talking about?
He had me do an interview. That was really fun. That was really funny. So it's just anywhere
Here's
like,
Micah. Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
yeah, just asking like stupid questions, and I was like, I always wanted to
because you like let him do the interview.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's like an Instagram.
yeah. He's
TikTok
just
guy.
like, he does those like silly like street interviews.
The college
or whatever.
kids all know.
Like,
Okay.
He's pretty big on Instagram. So like that was cool. I always enjoyed those kinds of videos where it was
funny.
like the last people like silly questions and all that. So that it was just stuff like that, but. Yeah, Chaco's if I'm with the band or like any of the college bars where that's kind of what I enjoy the most.
I back him on that. Those places are cool. You know, that's the demographic. They love all the new country. Morgan Wall and Zach Bryan. You know, are those two great people? Good songs. They help us get paid. Thank you guys.
Yeah. I think if I have to play something in the orange one more time, I might.
Yeah, we could pull the plug on that one.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, when we first met, you were doing a project called Always Undecided. It was kind of a hard rock sort of thing. Had a bunch of different iterations of that kind of that. So, what is the status of that, and kind of what are you doing? What are you doing now in the original?
I retired the name.
So Always Undecided is retired.
It's buried.
It has been decided.
It's we landed on it.
Yes. Yes.
We landed the plane.
All right. Podcast over. That was what I wanted to say. That was it.
Always Undecided.
Yeah.
You know what? Just like it was like it feels like it was like my life's work. All the stuff that I embodied into it, and I felt like after COVID, I was like. Nah, I gotta change this because I thought I already being a bartender. I worked at Mohegan Sun. Okay, I met a ton of people that were central that worked there. I got into playing at all these different bars from Tunkhannock to Dallas to Hunlock Creek to Mountaintop to Scranton. All these people that I knew helped me get into all of these places, and I felt like my name Kyle Demko got enough steam without the band name, and the band name didn't do anything because COVID took the rug out from underneath us, which is fine, but we were doing cool stuff before COVID. And then when I moved away, right after COVID, and I moved back, and I was playing the all the acoustic stuff solo and with like Riley, I like just started. A lot of people call me Demko that know me, like out from being a bartender or whatever. So most people just say Demko, and I had brought up Hardy before. And I just think like it's cool that he just like he has like this name with 5 letters. Demko is my name. I think enough people knew me as that. So I do want to like re-release some of the music that was out under Always Undecided. Like maybe get them re-recorded and put them out under as Demko. But the plan is to just build a brand with that at this point because I think enough people kind of know who I am ish, like sort of. For what it is, And I just thought it was just easier to do that. Like I think more people know that. I'm not going to give them two names to remember. And like I was like joking, but like trying to like tell people in a busy bar the band's name is Always Undecided is like a mouthful. What's your band name? It's like Always Undecided. Like what's Always on the Side? Like what? Like, and like Demko is just it's Demko.
Right.
Calling it a day. And if I have the band behind me, it'll just still be Demko like as an act. But like I don't know. Like I think like I was telling you before, like I think Hardy like broke the rules with a lot of it. Like he has rock songs out, and he has a band. It's his band. They're it's Hardy. But it's Hardy. It's whether he's acoustic or it's the full band. It's kind of him. I mean, I wrote a lot of the stuff. I'm kind of like taking the reins with it and like doing a lot of the branding. Like on my own, I have been for years. So it's like that's why I wanted to change it. I loved that. I loved Always Undecided. It was cool. It was all this different stuff, which with the name was fitting. But it's buried. It's buried.
So tell us how this new stuff is shaping up, because we haven't heard it yet, or it at least hasn't been out. It's not like you can go Google it or pull it up on Spotify or anything yet.
I think
what
the
is
most,
it sounding like?
I plan on having songs be released in the next few months. It needs to happen. Okay. That for sure. Like that. I think the plan was like this Bubba Sparks thing was like leading up to like something where it was going to be like somewhat of. I was using it as like a kickoff to like this new like rebrand kind of thing. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to get some songs recorded. I hope you guys like them. It is funny because I'm not going to follow like any kind of structure or formula at this point. Some of the stuff that I write when it's personal, it sounds country a little bit. I'm not going to put like a southern draw in my voice to make the song sound like that's what it's supposed to be. But like when I write metaphoric and a little more abstract, it's going to sound more rock, and that's just I think what it is. I'm having like a huge influence with this pop punk stuff, so it's definitely like keeping it in my head to like keep it fun. I always like to write things like that. Like Mud Cricket was always like a song that worked, and I love that song. I never released it, and I want to release it under Demko. But like I want things to feel. I want you to feel good. I have dozens of songs written. I have a handful that I believe in, and I just think that this is gonna just be a different attitude and image coming from my way. I'm trying. I think it's cool. I think everything. I think I'm better than I've ever been. I think my voice has way more control than it ever has. Like I put a lot of work into it, and now I feel better about it all, and I feel like it's come together pretty good. I have some people that are interested in playing with us that I think it's going to shape up really nice. So the idea is to get on some big stages and do some cool stuff. I had a guy, I'm not going to say who it is in case it doesn't work out, a guy that came into the music store made a comment to me. He was like, if you're watching, you know who you are. He was like, hey, when are you going to get some stuff recorded so I can be your drummer?
Yeah.
And he's already in some cool stuff. He's in like legit things that are great. And the fact that he said that, I was like, dude, you want to be my drummer? I was like, the job is so yours. It's not even funny. He's like, yeah. So
It's so hard to find a good drummer too.
Yeah, and he
Right?
and he said to me, he goes, I don't know how you get some of the stuff that you get, like shows wise. And that was cool because it's like some people might go, what the fuck does that mean? Like, but I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. Like I just grinding and networking. And honestly, on a side note, adding to that is like that thing what happened last week, the the Froggy 101 Guitars and Stars after party that took place at Sununis's. When I got wind of that, working at Sununis, I'm their social media manager, so like I do like, you know, nothing crazy, but I mean I post like 5, 6, 7 times a week, like from about what's going on over the weekend and the events that we have and all that. And when I got wind of that, I was like, well, I don't know what they plan on doing, but let me take the reins and get something going here. And when I reached out to them, they were super receptive. And I said, you know, hey, listen, like, I don't know that you know about Marcus Williver. I think you probably do. He opened for Riley Green at the Bloomsburg Fair last summer. I'm like, he's in town. Like, let's make it happen. Like, it's not gonna. And they're like, we don't have the budget to pay you guys. And I'm like, I didn't ask that. Like, we're not talking about that for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which in the future, sure, maybe we'll renegotiate something. I'm not worried about it. It was relatively last minute. Usually goes on at the Cultural Center, and I think they usually do it at Poor Richards.
Yeah, I think so.
So this year they wanted to do it at the Kirby. I'm not sure if they're thinking about maybe doing it twice a year because it was nice and it worked out. Maybe they might do one at the Cultural. Maybe they might do one at Kirby.
Right, because the Cultural Center was closed for renovations, right?
Yes.
I believe. So
Yeah,
that
exactly.
makes sense. Okay.
So they came to Sununis's, asked them if they wanted to do it, and I said, let's make it happen. And I put a show together where it was mainly to highlight Marcus Williver. He's a recording artist right now. The guy moved down to Texas to do this thing. You know, like he sold his house and like bought a cool RV, and he's down there doing the thing, getting songs recorded that sound really good with some really good musicians on the tracks with him. And he's just a great songwriter and easy guy to root for. So it was like, let's highlight this. So we made it where it was Marcus Williver, Luke Stone also releasing music actively, and then myself. And I don't care if it sounds like it or not. I squeezed my way into that. Like, I made it happen. Made my own luck.
You play that too with him?
He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played with me and with Marcus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marcus is a great guy. He's cool.
We had a great crowd. I mean, they came from something. They obviously loved country music. They came to see these artists that are relatively, they're not up and coming, but they're country music's so big that to be a top dog, you have to be one in a million.
Yeah.
And so the artists that are playing at these, they're still huge artists. Like Redfern was there. Like,
Yeah, they've gotten some really big names.
I mean,
over
Jelly
the
Roll
years.
was on it.
Jelly Roll
what,
was just a
2
few
years?
years ago.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah. Like literally right on the cusp of like when he had
Exactly.
his major hits. You know,
Yeah, so
like,
so that's what I'm saying. When they did it, I was like, let's make our own luck. And I'm telling Marcus, I'm like, I'm not disclosing crazy information here, but I was like, they're not paying us, but let's do it, dude. I'm like, this is what we need to be doing. Me as an artist, you as an artist, it's important. Like, so we made it happen and made something out of nothing. And I think that's important for everybody. And that's what I'm saying is what the guy said to me about you. I don't know how you got it because he was there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is great, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, this is sick." Like it was great. And we, like I said, people were receptive. I think they enjoyed all 3 acts, and we made that happen because you got to make it happen. I don't know. Make your own luck.
And it gets people excited about local artists.
Well, Froggy took it and ran with it too. They were so cool about it. Like, I mean, I have a poster at my house that's probably the size of this that I took it right off the wall. I'm like, you're coming home with me. It's like half the size of me. I don't care. I'll get it framed. There were like 3 of them. I think we all took one. But I mean, that was really cool for Froggy to involve the local scene because the local country scene around here is badass, man. Everybody's good. I mean, Jason Aldean says that in his song. Everybody sings, everybody plays, and like everybody's good. Like, I mean, Gracie, Marcus, Mike Elward, Shrive, Wesley, Luke, Lost at the Rodeo, Amy, Joey Lanigan. I mean, I'll keep going. You know what I mean? The Heartstrings, like they're a little more Strasbourg. There's just so many people. Whiskey and Woods. Like I'll just keep rattling them off, but.
Yeah, the gentleman from
Country scene's sick.
the Heartstrings has come to the open mic a couple of times.
Jake?
I'm just like, holy shit.
He's a stud.
His voice. Just
interesting.
Like, yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Blows you out of the
Dude's
water.
got a sound. He's cool. He's like nice, easy to root for.
Yeah.
I like him, you know. Yeah, I don't know. There's just there's a lot of us. So Froggy 101 having us on that was like pretty,
that is really
pretty
cool.
Neat. We appreciated it.
Yeah.
For sure. Same thing. That's what I'm saying. You gotta just go do things and make your own things happen because no one's gonna like really do it for you. You need to just do it.
I think that's important for local artists in the scene to understand.
We have to all root for each other. It's very important that nobody. I had a beef with a guy a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't like beef, but he was just like busting my chops. And I'm sitting there with, I'm sitting with Dave Klein, Mr. Donk Bronson himself. And it was like 3 of us, and we're like sitting around and we're talking, and he, not Dave, but the other guy like bust my chops, and I was like pissed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, in reality, like the 3 of us standing here was like actually like a cool. I mean, maybe I sound dorky or corny right now, but like, I look up to Dave. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for over 10 years now, and like Dave was always super cool with me when he didn't have to be. When I was like annoying and up his ass buying him Jaeger bombs. Give me a cigarette, Dave. I'll buy a Jaeger bomb. He'd be like, yeah, have two. No, but so like the guy bust my chops, and I was like, stupid, because like the three of us are standing there, and like we look cool together.
Yeah.
And if anyone knew about the local scene and saw the three of us standing there, it's like, oh, there's the. Like, actually, if 10 years ago, if I knew who I was or any of those guys, I'd know who they were. Mm-hmm. Local dudes in the scene. Like, think it's so fun to pay attention to everyone. I love it. I love rooting for everyone. And that's my point. There's nothing good that you're going to get from busting chops about anyone, because honestly, truly one of my favorite things to say is if somebody makes a bigger splash around here, it makes it a lot easier for everyone else to surf. And I heard that once, and I was like, it's so true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, and Marcus is...
Say that again?
If somebody makes a big splash, it makes it easier for everybody else to surf. And it's the truth.
Love that. Yeah.
Honestly, it's like, it's true. And I mean, like, Marcus has this way about him. I bring him up multiple times, but, like, he's got, like, a way about him where, like, everyone, like, believes in him and loves him. And, like, he's the kind of guy who, like, will be like, oh, Demko's the man. And it's like, all right, well, knock it off because you're the man. But he'll say it, and then, like, people start to think that, like, they're like, wow, Marcus is friends with him. Like, I want to know Demko. Like, and I've experienced it. But he's somebody that's made a big splash, and to be able to be on anything with him he's one of my best friends. But also, like, you're like, I'm like, still like, fuck yeah, I get to play with Marcus, dude. That's how I feel about it. It's great. I feel like that about a lot of people, but...
And you know what, and there's another way to look at it, that there's some people who have kind of a chip on their shoulder. They see the same names pop up again and again, and they go, well, why do these guys run everything? Why do they do this and why do that? It's because they took the initiative and they went and did it.
Making their own
As
luck.
opposed to waiting for somebody to come up to them and make it happen, they just made it happen. Well, I think this type of show should happen here. Then you book it.
Well, you put it together, and there's no formula to any of this.
Yeah, none of us. Yeah, a lot of us are just flying by the seat of our pants because we're passionate about it and we want to do it. So we're putting our own time, our own money, our own resources into these things to making them happen. Like, there's not, I don't have a monopoly on media in the area or anything like that. I just said I want to see this specific kind of content. I'm not seeing people doing that, and I'm going to fill that gap, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If somebody else comes along and they want to do it too, I'm thrilled about it. I'm not mad about it. I don't want them to go away. I want more of that. And I think more people need to have that perspective and not look at it as like, oh, this person's this person puts on a lot of punk shows or country shows or whatever the case is. So they must have a monopoly on that. I have to go through them like they're some kind of gatekeeper. And it's like 99% of the time, that's something you made up in your head. That's if you just actually have a conversation with that person, they're probably thrilled that like, oh, wow, you've recognized what I'm doing and you want to be a part of it? Great. Like, that's usually the conversation. I think a lot of people kind of get it in their minds that, like, people are trying to control things or make things happen just for themselves. It's like, no, I think at least most of the artists that I've seen, that I've worked with, that I've talked to over the years, they want all those ships to rise.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like people have probably thought that about things I've pulled, because I've involved myself in things I've, like, tried to build and surround myself with other people that are awesome. But, like, I'm just someone who also wanted to learn from everyone. Sure, right. That's the truth. Like, yeah. I mean, playing shows with, like, maybe Elward, where I'm trying to focus on what he's doing. Yeah, you're not saying I'm as good or if not better than him. So, like, I gotta make sure that everybody knows that. It's you want to learn from him. You want to see what he's doing. But yeah, you are right though. Like putting the things together.
Because I've seen that, and I've seen it at those kind of things tossed at like really good people that I'm like, wow, you have you do not know that person at all. But then my next thought was, well, that's because you haven't gotten the chance to know them. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you know me. Like,
go
I
out
love the scene. Like,
I go and have a
genuinely
conversation. Like that, me and that gentleman. Like,
Yeah.
I think we both had very different perspectives on it. But when we sat down and actually had a conversation face to face, he's like, no, I see what you're getting at. And I said, no, you know what? I see what you're getting at. Like, we should be doing more of that. You know?
Yeah.
When I was a little younger, I had somebody tell me you never want to be the smartest person in the room. And another saying that I like too is you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I think it's like he was saying, you want to be a sponge, and that is so true. It's like I'd go hang out at the music store and like try to learn, everything I could, or anybody. Like I remember for a while I worked at Backwoods Bar and Kitchen. I remember Mike Elward was there, and I was like, yo, dude, like, I'm supposed to be working, but like, I'll help you carry your stuff in, or like, that's so cool. Like, I do this too. That was like when I was in high school, and you kind of, and it applies to anything, whether it's like business or the gym.
I was like your peer.
Yeah, it was so cool. I don't even. He probably doesn't even remember that. I probably like, but it's just stuff like that. You always want to observe and be aware of what's going on around you, because there is always something to learn, whether it's maybe don't do that, or maybe, I should do more of that. You always want to have an open mind. It's never, at least for me, I've never had it hinder my progress of learning with shutting anything out, for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, so you grew up in Maryland.
Yes.
And you came here in 2020 into Northeast PA? Yeah. What a time, right?
Yeah, it was a really weird time. I could go off on a whole tangent about that. My family's from here, so I did spend a decent amount of time here as a child, like visiting aunts and uncles and cousins and such. So my parents grew up here. I lived in near Frederick, Maryland. I kind of lived in the countryside. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like literally 30 minutes south directly of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It literally takes you to town I lived in. It was called Westminster. So that's where I grew up. And yeah, I moved here in 2020. So that was weird. I lived with my uncle for a couple months, and then I lived in an apartment. And then, till we were able to find a house, because the COVID thing made that pretty difficult. But yeah, I'm not sure what you want me to divulge from that. I could go in a lot of different directions.
So my thought, and you're welcome to go in any direction you like, but my thought was,
where am I taking this ship, Rich? Where are we going?
I always
What
like
am I talking about again?
If I have somebody who's not from here originally, or that has a perspective of, because obviously a lot of the local musicians I talk to, they grew up here, they've lived here their whole lives, so this is what they know, and we could talk extensively about the scene here, but maybe not somewhere else. So like, what were you aware of, or were you part of the music scene at all out of this area? And how does it compare to what you're experiencing here now?
I mean, so yes and no. Like, a lot of it was based around playing the violin, and I went to a music school, so it was like a private, not like a school, like a public school. It was like a group of people who established a music school. So I studied there, and they'd have a series of rehearsals, and you'd have a recital. So that was like most of my childhood growing up music experience. I did play in the orchestra, like, in my schools growing up. That I always kind of hated too, because I don't mean to sound arrogant when I say this, but I was like the best, if not one of the better musicians, and it was kind of tough because we'd play a bunch of lame shit, and I kind of just did it because it was an easy A.
Sure.
And then when I was like middle school, high school, when I started down there, I did start a band with my friends, but that didn't really go anywhere. But beyond just being a garage band, we just get together and jam. So at that age, like, I really wasn't able to get out a whole lot, and there wasn't honestly a huge music scene down there. I didn't explore it that much, but there definitely seems to be more going on around here. Like, there like Kyle says, there really are so many talented people. Like, when I moved here, I went to Wyoming Seminary, so I was thrown into a lot of, obviously, like that school's got a lot of really smart, really talented kids. So I kind of lucked out there that from the friends that I made there, I was able to start doing this music thing. I'm losing my train of thought. But my point is, Kyle, what was I saying?
I don't know.
I'm just completely blanked out.
No, that just like
just
the difference between like the amount of musicians from Maryland and here.
So there, I would like, and then
And
my
you were
friends
talking about how I was
right.
right.
There we go. My friends would
Tell me
tell me
more.
like, oh, this person, or like Dustin Douglas, or like, Breaking Band is from here, and it's like, like
Well, every category stacked.
it's like it's just I'm like, you have these, or Motionless in White, like all these bands that are huge, like there's, at least to my knowledge, like there's not a whole lot of stuff going on down in Maryland where I was from. Now that may have changed. I haven't been down there in a while. I missed the weather. The roads were better, but I'm sure everybody has beaten that horse to death, so I won't go there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
you're also young, so you're like pretty fresh into the scene here in general.
Right. I haven't really been doing this that long. Like I've pretty much been doing it since I was second, third year high school. But it when I came here, it kind of just blew my mind. I was like, go in the music store and Gavin Fink would be working there. I didn't even know that Aaron was Gavin's dad. I'm like,
Sweet
Gavin's my friend, and I'm just like, oh, his dad's Aaron Fink. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like,
Making the Gavin face.
It's
into the
like-
camera. You go.
we love Gavin.
He does it. I don't know, like if he's
Gavin's
like that's him making a face at me. I'd be like talking. He'd be talking to a customer. He'd look right at me. And go,
He was hilarious.
like, stop doing that. You're talking to somebody.
He's so funny.
Man.
Yeah, Gavin's great. So there's cool stuff like that. I think, I don't know, the culture here is definitely different.
Yeah. It is a very distinct culture.
Yeah,
here.
it's different
quirky.
for sure.
I think everyone's rooting for each other. For the record, too. I do.
Yeah.
So, like, that being said, the categories are stacked. I, rattled off a bunch of country singers real fast, and that's not even some of the people that are doing the most. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't know. Traverse is killer.
There's
Pucker Up's gaining a lot of steam. I like them. They're likable.
Yeah.
They're super likable.
There's a hardcore band, One Step Closer.
Yes.
They have
How
that
about that?
song,
I've had them on the show here.
Giants
Great
Despair,
guys. Great
which
guys.
is
I saw them. I saw them
Incredible.
with Silverstein and Dayseeker 2 years ago.
Yeah.
At the Strasbourg.
They know how to put on a show.
They were sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But and Pucker Up too. They started at the NEPA Scene open mic too. So and for
Isn't that cool for you? To know that
I love
because
that.
you doing what you were doing for me and Anthony was a huge impact because we had good people were receptive to us even though it was the energy was it was funny. We knew what we were doing. We were playing an act with it. It was funny and cool. We were real intense. It was just me and an acoustic guitar and him.
Yeah.
You were one of the first places that gave us attention and shined spotlight on us and stuff. So, we do feel forever grateful for that. But yeah, you've harbored a lot of that. Rachel Bradshaw just won acoustic solo artist of the year, and she had her she came out of her shell coming to your open mic.
Yeah.
You do a lot for a lot of people, and we all, I think I speak for everyone, greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, man. That means a lot.
Wholeheartedly. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't bring that up to brag or put my name on somebody else's success, to be clear.
Yeah, but it's true. You've highlighted and paved the way for a lot of people.
Yeah, I just love being able to watch that happen, is what I'm saying. When I first interviewed Chris from Motionless in White, and he was basically, we're just having your typical conversation that you have about bands coming up in the area, and he was basically admitting, he's like, yeah, it's been really tough to find fans around here. They don't like that we do the whole goth makeup thing, and they think we're a bunch of like weirdos for dressing that way, and like I don't think a lot of the people around here seem to get what we're doing and stuff. And
Isn't it crazy to think that because and you're talking about that, it comes from this area where there's again so many bands. I listened to like Spirit Box say the same thing in an interview, and they like talk about how now. I mean, I watched an interview from them from 6 months ago, and now they'll go home, and people are like, "You still doing that band thing?" And they're playing for 100,000 people at festivals.
right? Or Emotionless's
So
case,
weird.
they literally just played the arena last week. And it's like, so where were all those people when you guys were trying to come up and so I think there was the same thing with Breaking Ben, the same thing with the Menzingers, Tiger's Jaw, Title Fight, a lot of these like great artists that have come out of here. I think there's quite a few people who are like, oh yeah, no, I was a fan the whole time. Nah, I don't know if you were, but you should have been. And, there's no shame in admitting, you know what, I missed that boat, but you should be on the next one. When the next band comes along, you should be there for that, you know? And I think if people paid more attention to a lot of those local artists, they'd find that there are a lot of ones right now that absolutely have the same potential that any of those
100%.
do.
Like, you're talking to the right audience with that. Yeah. So much. Like, yeah, I'm around it all day, a couple times a week.
So we want to talk about the downtown Wilkes-Barre holiday pub crawl. How long has that been going on? How have you?
So you mind
participated?
You mind if I just pick up the phone and like read some of this stuff coming from the source? Is that
yeah. No, that'd be great.
I think it'd be better if I don't want to just go off memory because I could tell you a lot.
Sure.
I could tell you that we're excited that the music goes on at multiple different places. It is a couple part event. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, I'm tying in this Friday to it. So again, this Friday, 7:00, the doors open at 5:00. Come over and hang out. I was supposed to have the show at the Ritz, and instead we're hosting it at Sunudis's and turning it into an extension of the Valley Santa pub crawl of sorts. So bring some money to donate or an unwrapped toy. But I do have some more information about the event itself. I teamed up with Joe Rodano. They've been doing this for a long time, and it's a Christmas party, and then there's a pub crawl. It's actually the 13th annual Valley Santa Christmas party that goes on at Rodano's. Let me read this here for you, okay? This is what it said. It said, "Dear attendees, what to expect? We're proud to announce our 13th annual Valley Santa Christmas fundraiser, which will be held Thursday, December 18th from 5 to 8 at Rodano's in downtown Wilkes-Barre, located at 53 Public Square. It says, each year we have helped raise thousands of dollars, all benefiting Valley Santa, which helps thousands of children throughout Luzerne County every year, providing them with a Christmas they deserve. With the help and generosity of local donors and businesses, make all this possible every year as it continues to grow. Rodano's will be providing a food buffet for anyone the day of the event. During the fundraiser, patrons can purchase ornaments for $5 each, and all proceeds go toward the Valley Santa. In return, ornaments are turned in to claim prizes that are won. Last year, we had over 500 prizes, and once again, we were asking if any person, business, or organization would like to help donate prizes. We'd be more than happy. We are currently accepting all donations. This is one of the biggest holiday fundraisers in the area, and we look forward to every year, and it gets bigger and bigger with the help of you and hundreds of others that gather at Rodano's for this great cause. So that being said, we have the two-part event. We have the fundraiser, which is that night, and then also December 6th is the actual Valley Santa pub crawl, which takes place at 5 different bars. It's going to take place at the Downpour at 4 o'clock, which is where you're going to be able to find Frank Marcinkowski jamming some tunes acoustic. We love Frankie. He's one of my best buds in the whole world. He's going to
player.
Oh, dude, he's just a wild man. I love him so much. We all do, dude. He's so easy to like. So Frank's going to be at the Downpour, and then the pub crawl itself will head over to Franklin's at 5:30, which you'll be able to find Luke Stone performing solo acoustic. The pub crawl then moves over to Sunudis's at 7 o'clock, where you're going to be able to find Micah and myself doing some jams. We're going to be playing. And actually, right after us, Frank Marcinkowski is going to take his stuff and bring it over and set up his full band ready to go for right after Micah and I are done. So their full band, Toasted, is going to be able to be playing there. Because then the party moves over to Vesuvio's at 8:30, where you can find Jerry Mahalik in there jamming some of your favorite tunes. So Vesuvio's isn't quite as big as Sunnis's, so we left a band playing at Sunnis's just in case there's a little overload. But then you guys can head on over to Heat at the end of the night at 9:30, where the party kicks off with a DJ, and they're going to be bumping tunes and having a great time over there. Always a good time. So that being said, people, please, if you can, come on out and donate some time, a little money, maybe an unwrapped toy. It would be greatly appreciated, and we love doing this and throwing this together. And Joe Rodano, thank you for involving us as musicians, local guys trying to represent, to help with the event. We appreciate you having us, and anyone that can, make sure you donate. We appreciate it. Listen.
That's December 6th, right?
That's December 6th. Wait, what else is going on December 6th that night?
Well, December 7th is my 21st birthday.
Oh
but
my
I will
God!
I will be at the bar when I turn 21. So if anybody wants to come out and hang out with me for my 21st birthday, listen to some tunes, bring a
And
gift,
buy this man a
donation,
drink.
buy me a
Right,
drink.
that's right. He's gonna have his first alcohol
Yes, ever, right?
ever.
First ever.
He's gonna have 3 or 4 alcohols that night.
Well, he will definitely drink responsibly.
He absolutely- at 12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock after our set. So we ran like a Toys for Tots thing for a little bit. It actually started with Marcus and I both happened to be off on a Sunday and planned on doing something.
Yeah.
And we ended up both being off. We both said, all right, well, let's do. And this was right when Always Undecided had the full thing going on with the Tyler Zeiss, Tyler Salick, Luke Seeley, Mike Bonowitz. They were all playing at the time. They were all off. And they were like, well, we'll come up and we'll jam for like 40 minutes and we'll do a set. Like, it'll be kind of cool. Marcus was like, hey, my full band is good to go for Sunday to do a benefit. Well, we didn't even plan that yet. We were like, let's run an open mic just for the hell of it. Then like Tori V was there and O'Neill from Miles Soul. Remember them?
Ah, yes.
Oh, Wagwan.
So good.
Dude, they were the best. They were so fun.
Yeah.
But he was
Miss those
there, like
guys.
Tori was there, Ellie Rose was there. It was a stacked lineup. And then we ran it for a couple years. And then the one year we ran it, we had it going on at like 20 different bars, like literally 15 or 20 bars. And then the one year we ran it, we condensed it, we put it at downtown Wilkes-Barre, and Valley Santa was doing their thing. And I didn't want to like interrupt that. So though the other benefit was great, we thought it would be cooler to do like something with them since they already had something going for the last few years. And I was like, can you absorb what us as the like NEPA music is doing? Like it was like the guys I just said. It's been Tori before. It's been Ken Norton. Miles Soul has done it before. Like I said, Ellie Rose, Marty Monahan has done it. Plenty of other people, Mike Elward. There's been plenty of other people that have donated time into the event the last few years. And we're now a part of like the Valley Santa crew, entertaining them. It's a great event, man. It's a great event. And we, you were there for the year we did the...
Yes.
Yes. So you took that picture of the 2 girls kissing my cheeks.
I did.
It's legendary.
Excellent profile picture.
It never made it onto Facebook.
It should have.
I have it somewhere in my phone.
You look at it wistfully.
Sometimes when I'm feeling down,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go,
Yeah, look at that.
Rich caught that on camera. Yeah. So what we got?
I mean, that's about all.
Well, I have
for
a
the
couple
most part.
questions for you real quick.
Oh, all right.
All right, real quick.
Before we wrap up, then.
Before we wrap up, and here's what I want to get at. This has nothing to do with anything we just talked about. But we got two major things going on.
Yeah.
The MCU is coming to an end.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Do you have a live take for me on how you feel about it? Because I'm curious to know. I don't think we're on camera here.
Sure.
You and I are both mega nerds.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen here? I give me a 2 or 3 minute thing of like how you think the ending is going to happen.
I mean, obviously,
Do you have hopes or do you have predictions?
it's more of all signs point to reboot. And
Absolutely.
That has me. It has me worried because they've already established really good versions of a lot of these characters. And it's obvious that because they have mishandled the last several movies, and especially the TV shows, severely mishandled the TV shows, that could have generated more interest in a lot of the other characters, as the first ones did. Everybody seems to forget.
You feel like the story went more this way than this way? Like
Yes.
At one point I was like, okay, I could see it, but it felt like it just was going this way.
And to be fair, they really did, if you really look back on the history of it and how everything came together, it really, like, the original plan was not the Infinity Stones. That was something they pretended that was the plan the whole time. But they were several movies in before they figured out, yeah, that's what we should be doing. That's where we should be going. And they figured out how to bring that all together.
You got to the first, within the first 10 movies, you knew exactly...
Yes.
We weren't even halfway and where it was going.
Right.
And I mean, after Infinity War and Endgame, you were like...
Well, I feel like they should have had a stronger plan in place after that was over to get into the next phase. Like, if you're going to set up Kang, they really need to set up him in a great way, and I think they completely dropped the ball on Kang.
With Loki, with the...
it was weird. That was a huge mistake. Ant-Man fighting him was a huge mistake.
And in one movie.
The guy who's supposed to be your next big bad is already defeated by what you could argue is one of the weaker Avengers, or, the jokey kind of Avenger, the guy who's there for a lot of comic relief most of the time. Yeah. Even though he is quite powerful, but I think that's how they marketed him, and that's how you see him. So, that was really stupid. And I get, there's other Kangs and blah, blah, blah. But, to the audience who's just getting into this, who's just trying to understand it.
Oh, what a backlog of stuff they have to watch.
Yeah. And it's silly. And I think they thought, because there was such a demand for this stuff, that the TV shows were really going to feed into that. But they really dragged those out. A lot of them were too many episodes for too little story. And I think a lot of the stories they did tell were awful.
They could have been shorter.
Yeah, they could have been shorter, and I think they could have told, and maybe a TV movie format would have worked better for a lot of them. But I think they missed a lot of opportunities there to build that up, and now they've had to pivot to Doom, of course, who they really should have been working on the whole time.
Right.
The same. I mean, they knew.
I imagine when we go back and watch stuff, they're gonna bring things in that you're gonna go, oh, okay, well, but really, it wasn't really meant for it, but they'll make it that
that's
way.
That's where you're going with it, that sort of thing. So I think they are moving towards reboot, which has me worried because what I've seen both Marvel and DC do over the years is every time they do a reboot, they feel like we have to do something that's completely different from the other thing that we did so that we can establish that this is a new thing, a new version or whatever. And that is usually, most of the time, an awful idea because it's like some...
it gets muddy.
Like, it's an awful take. Like, we're going to make, the comics have done it many times too, where it's like, we're going to make Iron Man a teenager. And it's like, no, nobody wants to fucking see that at all. Like, that's just, it's not the take that we want to see. But they're going to force it on you anyway because they're like, well, we can't do the Robert Downey Jr. version of Iron Man again. We also don't want to pay him the ridiculous amount of money that he wants to get paid to play that character again. So we're gonna figure out a way to get rid of him again and have another actor come in and play him. And I feel like they'll do the same thing with Captain America, where they had the perfect origin for Cap. They built up his character the right way. They made all the right moves with Cap. And then I feel like they're going to do a new version of Cap that I'm going to be like, oh, God, this version sucks. And we're going to be stuck with that with a lot of these characters. I think the one way they could improve is like the Hulk. Like, I think they dropped the ball on the Hulk over time. I think they really did not understand that character at all through most of the movies. Most of them, I think they really nailed the aspects of the character. You don't have to follow the comics exactly to get who these characters are. You just have to get the core of what makes the character interesting and relatable. And they've pretty much did that with almost all of them. Black Widow, not really great. But, Cap, Iron Man, Thor, they did a great job, I think, with all of those. Thor, obviously, they changed a little bit. He doesn't talk like he does in the comics.
You think some actors are going to make it through the change?
Yeah, well, I think some of them are just happy to keep taking the paycheck. I think the days of, that's another thing, were the days of, like, the big names in Hollywood and stuff, like carrying, it's kind of over for a lot of stuff. Like, we're at a point now where old Hollywood was, you had your 4 or 5 big names that were in, at least 1 or 2 movies every single year. And they were the draw, no matter what the plot is or whatever, people were going to see them. Nowadays, people want to see franchise stuff and whatever, and that's what Hollywood is really pushing. I think maybe people are really getting sick of it at this point, so maybe that'll change. But I think right now, I think these guys are seeing diminishing returns on a lot of stuff. A guy like, Dwayne Johnson, who, tried with his whole thing. He kind of caught the tail end of a bad cinematic universe, but I feel like guys like Chris Hemsworth really understand, like, there's only so many of these roles out there for me where I'm going to be why wouldn't I just take the big money and keep playing Thor as opposed to playing another version of the same type of character in another action movie that is a generic movie that no one's going to go see? Why not just keep playing the Marvel character and keep making that money? So I think some of those guys will stick around.
Yeah, I think some of them will flood through.
And some of them won't. So I hope that the ones that I hope enough of them do.
I hope they do it right.
Yeah,
for 24 movies, we were like, oh, you can't do any wrong.
Yeah,
like, it was so good. Like every little thing they put out was like really excellent.
Sure.
And now it's getting a little watered down.
It is. Yeah.
Where's this going? Come on.
Tough. Yeah. Well, I think the time stuff.
You got a lot in your pocket, and I want to see. Show me the money. I want to see the X-Men.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big thing too. Is they had to figure out a way to work in the X-Men, and the way that they have it set up, they couldn't, because the X-Men would have had to have been there the whole time. Right. The whole point is they're born with their powers.
Exactly, yeah, sure.
So you just have to have people all of a sudden of all different ages.
Well, they kind of Fantastic Four
come out of nowhere.
Made that. I mean, that and Loki made it make sense, I guess. But
which so I think they're going to do a lot of and DC's done it a bunch of times in the comics. Marvel's done it a bunch of times where you just combine worlds. You take like this person from this dimension and this person from this. It used to be dimensions. Now it's like alternate universes, whatever you want to call it. Smash them all together. Now they all have to live together. So I think that's what they're doing. With setting up with Fantastic Four to bring them over, and I think that's obviously what they're doing with the X-Men to bring them over. So I wonder when they get to do all that. At least I hope that they're going to maybe take their time with those properties a little bit, give us a little bit more, especially the X-Men. I'm a huge X-Men guy. That's what got me into comics. So I'd love to see
I was a big fan.
I'd love to see a better take on X-Men. I've never really liked what they've done with the movies. I feel like they always...
If you know a lot about them,
exactly.
It seems watered down.
I think a lot of the casting was fantastic.
Like Logan, that was wild.
I mean, Hugh Jackman is an incredible Wolverine. I think he does such a great job. But he's also been given a lot of bad scripts and having to do a lot of bad movies. We remember the good stuff. We remember Logan, and then we forget X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was one of the biggest pieces of shit ever.
The ninja one?
That was the one after that.
Oh, that was somehow worse.
Yeah. And it's Silver Samurai's a giant robot. It's terrible. There's so many bad ones that he's done, but he's good in them that you just kind of forgive it. But I would love for them to start fresh with no Wolverine for a little while, give him a break. The old X-Men were the original 5, and build it up from there and do the X-Men right. Instead of having how they did it, where they introduced them and then they had to go back and do prequels, and then they kind of messed up, like all of their stories don't make any sense. Like the continuity is terrible in all those movies. Like start fresh, start from the beginning, start them all young and let them build up all of these characters. Because again, if you're a big multi-million-dollar corporation, you're Disney and you want to make money on all of this stuff, why are you putting all of your cards on 2 or 3 characters? Why is it always like everything's got to fall on Wolverine and maybe 1 or 2 others and that's it? It's like, Make Cyclops cool. Make Storm cool. Make
They
Jean
are
Grey
cool.
cool. They are cool.
Yeah,
they're
but
all cool.
They were never that cool in the movies.
Nightcrawler, they're cool. Beast, cool. Like, there's so many cool characters, and they all have interesting stories. Let's tell them. Let's take our time and tell all of those stories and build up to these big team movies and these big event stories and things like that. That's kind of been the downfall, and I think a lot of comics fans would agree. The downfall of comics in the last few decades has been these big events.
Yeah.
And the movies are now just skipping all of the good, the great stories in between and going right to the events. And it's that's a red flag.
I hope if they reboot it, they kind of do what the new Superman did, where like you kind of just have to use context clues.
Yeah.
And you already know these characters, sort of. Yeah. So you're like, you should just know.
Yeah. That's my long answer to that. Is
all right. And I have one more question.
But I am hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Me too. This is my other question, and I'm curious, just because you're again big nerd, and I've had strong feelings lately, but I don't love video games the way I did for a long time. It's probably because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of really good games 10 years ago that I don't think some of the games out now are like catching as hard as some of them did for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I played like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and like they were so good, and like played like The Witcher 3 and it was so good, and like now I'm trying other stuff. Like even the new Pokemon game is like not great. It's okay, but like it's not great. But me and my friends have been having a lot of debates recently, and I'm just curious to know if I had a gun to your head right now and you had to name your like top 5 to 10 most influential video games specifics to.
Games.
What do you got? Because I've thought
5 to 10.
Yeah, give me like I don't know. Just give me the first like when I immediately think of them. Honestly, I'll give you guys an example. Like my first few that I think of like Halo 2 because it was like the time. I think of Super Mario Brothers for Super Nintendo.
Sure.
I think of like Pokemon Silver and Gold specifically.
Okay.
Yes.
That one hit hard.
Great.
The first one was great, but the second one came out and I was like I was older and I played the game right.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart Double Dash really did it for me.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm just curious to know what some of your top ones are.
Okay. Well,
because we never.
Yeah. So obviously I'm just a couple years older than you gentlemen here. So my version of what video games are is very different than stuff now. So I stopped playing video games on any kind of regular basis after the PlayStation 2 and the Wii. That's it. So anything that's newer than that...
I forgot Super Smash Bros. Melee, but anyway. So.
I have not played anything beyond... I've seen it. I've talked about it with people. I've seen other people play them.
Well, what are the best ones? Like, what are your...
Going back to, like, my childhood and the stuff I grew up with and everything like that, I think my top one, of course, is Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
It's a great game.
Yeah, I've loved seeing the resurgence of that now, and new generations discovering that because they just released the Capcom collection.
The remakes are cool.
Yeah,
like,
the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. All of that was great. Like I had all
3
of those growing up, and they were all fantastic games. And I had a lot of like the weird systems too, like the Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast and things. And they did those Capcom games really well because they couldn't emulate them really well on like the Nintendo hardware and the Sega the early hardware. So. Sega really got those right.
The one for Dreamcast was awesome.
Yeah, the Dreamcast one was great.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of those growing up that we got on clearance super cheap because they those systems didn't sell well and whatever. So I had those. I played a lot of beat 'em ups. So the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up in the arcade with the
what's this time.
You could play all 4
Turtles in Time, right?
Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Was a sequel. That was great too. Yeah, those were really big for me, and like the home versions were pretty good conversions, so I had those.
They just remastered them. It's $20.
They did another
$20 on PlayStation Store. I just saw it last night.
And they have they're making new beat 'em ups now, which is really cool for me because I kind of like that pick up and play sort of stuff.
With the graphics are updated.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to. Well, they're even making there's a new Turtles that's a beat 'em up, but like they made it just in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it looks good.
And they have a new Marvel one too.
They did a Power Rangers one too.
Yeah, they have a Power Rangers one, a Marvel one.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them. And finally they're putting out a He-Man one. I loved He-Man growing up.
Yeah, I see the thing.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And there were no real video games for that. There was like a crappy computer game that I didn't have.
I'm surprised
and,
he's
like,
not a
that's about
Fortnite
it.
skin yet.
Yeah, you would think, like
Yeah.
especially with Skeletor and stuff. But I know they're building up for the movie next year, so they gotta start like really pushing that stuff. So it's cool to see that kind of thing. But yeah, growing up, I loved beat 'em ups. So I like
All right, so
that.
you got Marvel Capcom.
The X-Men arcade machine, really, that beat 'em up where you could play all 6 X-Men at the same time.
Is that the one where Wolverine is in the...
They have it at Bartari, actually.
Right, and Wolverine's in the yellow and
yeah,
the brown.
and the brown, yeah, the
Yeah,
orange and
I
brown.
know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what you're
yeah,
talking about.
Exactly. And
Colossus is in it.
Yeah,
dude.
You would hear that from across the
Yeah, I know.
Any arcade worth its salt had that giant, because there was a 4-player one, but there was a 6-player one with the 2 screens.
I know,
and,
yeah,
like,
I
that
know.
one was
I
the
definitely
shit.
know exactly which one you're talking about.
You played the hell out of that, and there was no home versions. You had to play that in the arcade. There was no home conversion for how many years, so you couldn't get that. There was no Steam and all that kind of shit in those days.
All right, so Marvel, come on, hit me.
So
Marvel,
there's a lot
Capcom,
of Marvel stuff.
Marvel Capcom, you like
but-
the Turtles in Time and the other one.
I loved the Mario games growing up. I think Mario 3 is probably the best, like in terms of
raccoon?
the masterpiece. Yeah, the raccoon suit and everything.
Yeah.
But I really, a lot of people hated 2. I loved 2. I thought 2 was super fun,
great.
because it was a weird one. It was very different from all the others.
They literally all hold up.
Because it was another game in Japan, and they just put Mario skins on everybody for over here because they wanted a sequel, and the one that they had was just Mario 1 again. So they made Wario 2 was cool. So I loved that. And a lot of it was just kind of exploring the old Nintendo and Super Nintendo games and spent hours and hours trying to figure them out. And, most of the time was never good enough for a lot of them. Like, I loved when the Angry Video Game Nerd, when he first came out, his first episode that he ever did, that really like changed the way that people do internet content and stuff like that, because there's all these reviewers now and stuff like that. He was one of the first guys to put that stuff on the early internet, and his first episode was about Castlevania 2, and that was like, I played the fuck out of that game, and it frustrated the hell out of me because I could never beat it.
It was really hard,
and I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until the internet came along that find out that you had to, unless you called the Nintendo hotline, which was like,
remember you had to do that?
Yeah, a few dollars a minute.
Oh my god, you had to call in to get a hint.
Yeah, to get a hint.
Oh
which
my god,
I would never do because my parents would have killed me.
You don't understand, young child.
my parents would have killed me if I had
strategy
called
guides?
that up. Well, that was the other thing.
You had to buy the book.
You had to you'll go out as a kid and find the book. Like, you can only go out when your parents were going out.
I have mine from the Pokemon Red game.
I have a couple of them still.
It's deteriorated beyond all belief.
I have silver it's falling apart.
I'll trade you.
So there's like the strategy guides, or you had a Nintendo Power. Nintendo Power did one that had all the maps and stuff and told you where to go. So as it turned out, all these years later, I didn't figure it out until somebody told me. Because unless you had somebody in school that told you or something like that, you'd never know. There's a specific spot where you had to kneel down and hold a certain button and have this certain thing equipped in your inventory. And then a little thing of wind would come and pick you up and take you across the water to the next part of the level. You would never figure that out otherwise. So, and this was a game where you could walk all the way back to the beginning. So I would literally spend hours and hours walking back to the beginning of the
side scroll.
and I'm like trying to figure out where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, there was no map.
There was no map. It was
nothing.
just
if you tried to go forward, you just fall into the water and die.
Yep.
So it was just hours and hours and hours of that. So like, it's not a good memory, but it's definitely of like it sums up how gaming was in those days.
Yeah, it sounds like how people felt about like the Lion King game too. Like, how impossible that was.
Right, super hard game.
No,
they did it on purpose,
especially for kids.
They were like, we didn't want you to be able to beat it with one rental from the store.
Yeah, right.
We tried 12.
Yeah.
to get past the giraffes.
Do you play video games at all? Like, did you
I-
play growing up at all?
The extent of my video game
Do you have like a
experience
couple that
is,
like are your favorites?
Gran Turismo 6.
That's
and
there you
Forza.
go.
Okay.
You put me in front of. I don't know anything about what you guys are talking about.
The Forzas were
Yeah.
But if you put me in like on a racing sim, I'm lethal. I love a racing game.
I love Daytona.
I love
Did you play
cars.
Daytona?
No.
Daytona USA, that was fun. Okay, that's definitely before your
I
time.
played Forza, I think 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I don't know
was
which
the
one
other
they
one?
put the trucks
Mine-
on. Maybe I played
Cruising
2.
USA, that was the other one. I
would
enjoyed.
have my air time would have been like Forza
Probably
4 or
3.
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
spent a lot of time
Horizon.
playing Gran Turismo. That's probably where all my reckless driving habits come from. I think I'm.
Robin,
still,
you got a couple favorites that immediately jumped to your mind?
Yeah, so SSX3.
SSX Tricky 3.
Okay.
3, not tricky.
Oh, not Tricky.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're good. Pokemon Silver. That was a big one.
Yeah, me too.
When I was growing up, I played a lot of the Barbie games. Barbie raised me. So, like, Barbie Extreme Sports.
Nice.
Love that stuff. So, you guys were playing your Tony Hawk, and I was playing Barbie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lion King on Sega. But also, I either was playing Barney's Hide and Seek or Mortal Kombat. There was no in between.
That's an insane
Excellent.
duality.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
Get over
that doesn't
here.
explain anything.
Yes,
those are mine.
that was the other big one for me was Street Fighter, Street
cool.
Fighter 2, and all the versions of Street Fighter 2, like Champion Edition and Super Street Fighter 2. I literally had like every version that came out, I would get it because I was very good at it. But Mortal Kombat, I loved the story, I loved the characters, but I just get my ass kicked every time. Like I'm like, I can't figure this shit out. Like
Well, it can still be fun. You
yeah,
just smash the buttons
exactly.
with
Yeah,
that.
and that's
I love
basically
that.
what I would do to try to get through it. And sometimes, yeah, I could get through like the basic ladder,
I gotta
but you
say
get
too, I played Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed on my PC for years.
Okay.
And that was like the only PC game aside from The Sims, I
Mm.
think. But PC games count too.
Oh yeah, you know what? If you want to talk PC games, the big one for me, everybody loved Doom. I was Wolfenstein 3D.
Okay.
Wolfenstein 3D was the precursor to Doom. And it was the same people, but that was basically like they made that, and then that led to them making Doom.
I think Wolfenstein was the first first-person shooter that Nintendo had on the Switch.
Yeah, it was, and I just loved killing Nazis. That has not
Yeah.
changed. If I could get away with it,
Yeah.
I would kill them, but I would certainly still beat them up.
Yeah, we like that around here.
But yeah, I it was so
racists.
there was so much enjoyment killing Nazis over and over and over again, and you got to kill Hitler in
Yeah.
one of the later episodes,
I
and that
don't-
wasn't even the end. That wasn't even the end. You kept going. There was more episodes where you killed Himmler and all the other guys too. But killing Hitler in a mech suit was fucking hilarious and amazing
Yeah.
because it was very tongue-in-cheek. Like it really wasn't meant to be taken that seriously, because obviously you have like these Nazis had like crazy technology that they wouldn't have, but like you have Hitler literally in a mech suit with 2 big machine guns. You're like, okay, yeah, this is over the top, but it was so much fun to shoot him. And then they did every time you killed a boss, they would do the death cam, where they would replay his death for you in slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
And it was only pixelated stuff, like it, terrible by today's standards. But in those days, it was like, oh wow, this is so cool, because you'd watch his like head like explode and like all his blood come out and like his whole body just like blew up essentially, and like his guts are everywhere. But it's all just pixels. But it was hysterical. I loved it. Like that was great. So. Thank you for bringing up PC gaming, because I would have forgot to mention that.
Of course.
Anything else?
No,
Good?
those were my 2 big
All right.
ones. I was waiting all day to ask you.
Yeah.
All
right.
I wanted to know what your thought for the
Okay.
end of the MCU was, and I just was wondering about the video.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm-
video games aren't hitting for me right now. I play a lot of Fortnite.
I hear you, man.
A lot of Rocket League, but
I hear you.
it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man for PS4 was so good that it almost made it like where it's like same with the Fallen Order and
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Survivor. They were so ungodly good that I'm like, it just doesn't feel like everything else I'm trying to play is like. I don't know.
Yeah. See, like I would.
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, amazing.
I love that games have come so far that we have these like epic stories, and they take hours and hours, and these big campaigns and all that kind of stuff. I just personally don't have the time to dedicate to any of that stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like
feels
I
like
just
they-
don't.
some
I
of
have
them-
too many other things.
Some of them
going
feel like
on.
work.
Yeah, they really
I'm
do.
stressed
So
out.
like, if I'm like, and even as a kid, I think I wanted to play a game for an hour or two, and then I wanted to walk away and do something else. I want to go outside. I want to play with my action figures. I want to play with Legos. I want to do all that kind of stuff. I still do those things, but but yeah, the main like so
Rich,
for
do you
me,
want to come over and play action figures with me?
yes, I absolutely do. So if I'm doing that these days.
I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm like,
That's when
Sorry,
you know you're.
Micah.
That's when you know you're old. That's when you know
this
you're
would be
old.
the equivalent of you guys walking in the garage with my brother, like taking cars apart, doing cars.
Yeah. It's the same thing right now. I
it's
just be
alright.
like, do you guys need anything?
That's why I like the fighting games and the beat 'em ups, because you could just play it for a little while and then go, yep, okay, I'm done now. That's it. Move on with my life. You know, I don't have to dedicate 20,000 hours to the game or whatever. I do want to just mention the comments. Lots of compliments for you guys. This guy on YouTube, JDJ92993. Sorry, it only puts your username.
You know
up
what?
there.
That's Josh. That's my friend Josh.
Demko
Jones.
is the man, he says.
Hey there, Josh.
Did we get any questions from the viewers?
I will check that. Terrell says, Micah looks like he fights crime, not a violinist.
That's my boy Terrell.
Excellent. Chris Jones says you guys make a lot of sense.
that's my
so I
boy
think he was
Chris.
listening to the stuff earlier. So let's see. Jeffrey says keep going, Demko. Michelle says look at you two killing it. Cindy just says Demko with lots of exclamation points. Mr. Joe Rodano said thanks for holding it down, bro. Let's see.
I want to give Chris Jones a shout out. He's a good friend of mine and somebody who always supported my band and always encouraged me. He's a great guy.
Nice.
Chris Jones is awesome.
Let's see.
If he's still watching.
Cornelius is Demko Rocket. We probably lost him at the Marvel stuff, but in the old video game talk, like we're
Cornelius bread.
yeah Cornelius Bread, yes,
Cornbread.
Yeah. Tammy said, Kyle, you are so humble, always proud of you.
Is that Tammy Demko?
Yes.
Thanks, Mom.
And Cindy says he makes his family proud. He's such a good kid. We love him. Aw, isn't that sweet? And so the last one actually is video game related. Ninja Dan 93 says I'm Ninja Dan, 93 says first run of the Water Temple and Ocarina of Time still haunts me.
I hear him on that too. I loved that game.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends who are Zelda guys.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were gnarly. They were something else. They were like masterpieces.
Yeah. How about them finally making the movie?
Yeah, about it. It'll probably be good. I mean, honestly, I
hope
have faith
so.
it'll be good. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I grew up playing them since I'm like 5 years old, so.
Yeah, hopefully kids today are growing up with the Mario movie they made and not the Mario movie we grew up with.
That Mario movie was such an instant classic. I went and saw it with my friend Ed. He's one of my best friends, and his daughter, who like loves Mario games.
Yeah.
And I don't know who was more pumped between the three of us. Like we're in our 30s. She was 9, and we were all pumped. It was so
how
good.
they should have done it in the first place. It's
So
an
good.
animated movie. Like it just lends itself to that.
Yeah, it was. That movie was phenomenal.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Not the weird live action thing that we saw as kids.
That was weird.
Super weird. I love bad B movies, so I kind of have a soft spot for it in that sense. But it's objectively not a good
I remember like renting it from the movie theater.
Yeah.
And just being like, this is crazy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and thank you to Robin for filling in. We appreciate it. I know you're tired and it's super late, and thank you guys for coming on the show and hanging out with us for a little bit. And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So if you guys enjoy the show, do all the good algorithm things, like, comment, share, all those types of things to get this stuff out there to more and more people, because we're doing this all independently. It's all self-funded, so we're not giving Facebook our dollars to boost posts and shit like that. Screw those guys. But if you want to help us out by taking a moment to share stuff, and I mean, everybody's sick of especially as the holidays are coming up, we want to spread some good cheer. Let's put politics and all that kind of stuff. Stop sharing your opinions on that for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, share something positive. These guys are doing something really cool in the community. I should put that information out one more time. The Demko duo, Frank Marzinkowski, Luke Stone, and Jerry Mahalik will be performing at the annual Downtown Wilkes-Barre Holiday Pub Crawl on Saturday, December 6th. Donations to benefit Valley Santa will be collected at each venue, which includes Sununas's, the Downpour, Franklin's, Vesuvio's, and Heat. Valley Santa, by the way, is a nonprofit organization working in Luzerne County to provide Christmas gifts to families in need. Toys are purchased for children ages 12 and under. So bring a gift unwrapped, or make a monetary donation of some kind. Make some kids Christmas. That's what it's really all about. So share some positivity, spread some positivity. Thank you so much. Hope you guys had a good time on this one, and we will see you next Wednesday for another NEPA Scene podcast. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.